and welcome to the Ice Guys, brought to you by the Hockey Podcast Network. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a sports betting perspective, with pro handicappers Alex B. Smith and veteran sports writer Jimmy Murphy. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to another Ice Guys Live Betcast. It is Tuesday, February 22nd. Ian Cameron with you. We will have some members of the crew tonight, special guests galore. We are looking forward to being back with you tonight for another Betcast and looking forward to it very much. We've got 6 games tonight on the NHL slate. And, to be quite honest with you, this is a slate that's not as big as it was last week, that is for sure, but still a very busy night. And you've really got a night where you've got these 4 early games that are just about to begin. We've got 4 of them that are about to start here within the next few minutes in NHL action. We've got Minnesota, Ottawa, Nashville, Florida, which is probably the marquee game of these 7 p.m. Eastern games. St. Louis, Philadelphia, Toronto, Columbus, just minutes away from the opening puck drop of their games. Though they will be getting underway momentarily. Just a brief rundown of what I'm looking at here. We've got Minnesota, Ottawa over for a small bet. I took Toronto, Columbus over 6.5 full game for earlier in the day, smaller. I'm going to be looking live to see if I can get a 5.5 if that game happens to start off slowly. And as I mentioned on the Ice Guys show today in that Toronto Columbus game, at great value, considering I would expect the Leafs to have some serious jump and really want to maybe get out to a great start tonight against this Columbus team. Jump on that Jackets defense. Jump on JF Berube, who is a journeyman goaltender that has spent much of his career in the American Hockey League in the last several years. Jump on him early, throw shots at the net, throw pucks at the net, and really try to get the foul stench out of their system from last night against Montreal. So I took Toronto first period team total. Over 1.5 plus 170 is the price I got on that. I thought it was a terrific price. Leafs team total over 1.5 plus 170. Chris Otto knows all too well those first period team total bets. He has been on a few of those as well, and they've done quite well. So, and they're good to look at in terms of, first period team total value with these good teams, these good offenses, especially in spots where you think they're going to come out strong. And I think you're going to see that here from the Leafs tonight in the first period of that game. Blues and Flyers, I am on the over, and the Blues over 6 full game, and the team total for the St. Louis over 3.5 minus 120. And I'm also looking at Nashville, Florida's over 6.5. But again, more interested in maybe looking at the in-game line in terms of maybe it drops to a better number if the first 5 minutes are scoreless. And I'm on Nashville first period. Like I said on the show today, I'm going to take a shot in this situation that maybe, just maybe, we get Nashville, rested, full of energy in the first period. Florida, that first 20 minutes after the successful road trip where they won every game, and maybe it's going to be a situation where Nashville had a great first period against Carolina Friday night, a very good Hurricanes team, as we all know. They outshot Carolina. If not for Frederik Andersen, really putting up a brick wall early in that hockey game, it definitely could have been a different story for Nashville in terms of the start in that game. So, if they play anything similar to that in the first period tonight against Florida, I think they're going to end up having a shot to take the lead early. So the Nashville first period money line at plus 160. I actually thought that we got a pretty good number and a price there with plus 160 there with Nashville in that game. So looking forward to the Betcast tonight. We are going to start sending out the links. Again, if you want to join us on the stream tonight, it's very simple to be able to do that. It's not something that's very difficult. You just send me a DM and we will send you the StreamYard link. And if you want to join us live during the Betcast as everything unfolds, we can do that. So that is happening. Andrew McInnis is going to be on with us. He couldn't make it last Tuesday. He'll be with us tonight. He's just wrapping up eating. So we are going to see him probably after the first period of these early games. So he'll be along with us probably in the next 30 to 45 minutes. So looking forward to that. We do have all 4 games now underway. These 4 early games tonight, all of them starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. Now, again, we don't have any 7:30 Eastern, 8 o'clock Eastern, 8:30 Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern games tonight. We've just got these 4 games right now. And then, of course, we will end up having 2 games later tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern with Seattle and the New York Islanders, as well as San Jose and Anaheim. So those are the games coming up in the latter stages of this Tuesday NHL card. So we're all underway in all 4 games right now of the 7 p.m. Eastern window. So just awaiting things to unfold here and see how if we get some early goal-scoring action in some of these games. Fascinating to see how it ends up playing out here. Of course, we know JF Berube in net for Columbus, and it's an emergency situation for them because of the situation that's unfolded with both Merzlikins and Korpisalo out of the fold. Martin Jones is indeed back in net. Mr. Beachball, as I like to call him. He's back in net tonight for the Philadelphia Flyers. Carter Hart still sidelined by that eye infection that kept him out at the very last minute Monday against the Carolina Hurricanes. So it looks like it's a situation where not totally unexpectedly that Martin Jones is back in net tonight for Martin Jones back in net for the Philadelphia Flyers here. We do have a goal, by the way, for the Minnesota Wild. They have just gotten on the board. It is 1-0 Wild. They have taken a lead on the Ottawa Senators a couple of minutes into that game. Minnesota on the Ottawa on the board. My bad. And look who scored here for Ottawa. It is Thomas Chabot. Scoring the goal for the Ottawa Senators here. 2:09 into the first period, unassisted, and giving Ottawa a 1-0 lead. An Ottawa team that has definitely had their issues scoring goals lately. That is for sure. So it is indeed the Ottawa Senators with the lead 1-0. So 1-0 Ottawa in that one. Chabot with the goal. And so far we are off and running here with our first goal of the night. And the team maybe wouldn't have expected it to score the first goal of the night, but it is indeed the Ottawa Senators here scoring that goal for the first goal of the night. So, but then again, if you're Minnesota, definitely not concerned. You know, you've got plenty of firepower. You've had no problem being able to score goals lately. So we will see if that is indeed the case tonight for the Minnesota Wild. An early deficit for them just really isn't anything all that significant because of just how quickly and they can score and certainly get themselves out of any early deficit. In this one, we've got Nashville and Florida. Again, I think of the 7 p.m. Eastern games, this is the game that I'm trying to, watch more than anything else so far, trying to make sure we get a pretty good sense of how that game is going. You've got, 2 pretty good hockey teams when you look at it, but definitely a situation for the Predators where they started out the season very well, but they ended up obviously struggling, and they have been struggling since the All-Star break. So interesting to see if they are able to bounce out of this little funk that they're on. Certainly not going to be easy against Florida. That game again underway, no score yet there down in Florida. Leafs and Jackets now well underway as well, about 4 minutes into the opening period, and still awaiting the first goal there. Of course, Toronto on the back-to-back after just an absolute defensive debacle from them last night in their loss to the Montreal Canadiens. It just wasn't very good from them. And as far as the Leafs defensive situation tonight goes, no Jake Muzzin in the lineup, so Sheldon Keefe was going to end up, shaking up his defensive pairings tonight, having to make some adjustments without Muzzin. And as a result, you've got Timothy Liljegren, Dermott, on the third pair, Rasmus Sandin with Ilya Lyubushkin on the second pair. Ilya Lyubushkin, by the way, making his Leaf debut tonight, the guy they just picked up in a trade from the Arizona Coyotes. He's on the second pair tonight for the Leafs. And, of course, Riley Brody, the top pair. Justin Hall had a pretty brutal night. In fact, he's had a pretty rough stretch the last few games. Justin Hall, a healthy scratch tonight for the Leafs. not totally surprising, and I think a lot of Leaf fans probably excited about that as well. We've got our guy, Vito, here with us. It's from Latvia. Again, Vito, one of those guys that it's just amazing that, he's been on the Betcast a few times already with us and gone to like 5, 6 a.m. his time. Vito, Tuesday night, NHL card, lots of games, 6 of them. We got 4 of them on tap right now. How are things?
Well, looking for a great bounce back day, I guess, because last night was a dog day. Today should be a great favorite day. I'm on Maple Leafs. Took them yesterday once they were down 0-5. I think they're a great bounce back team, and I know that Berube will be in the net for Columbus, so I went with Leafs. Went with Blues as well today, because, well, Jones, I don't think so. He's ready for back to back. I'm not sure he's ready for this season. How can he be ready for back to back? So I went with Blues there. Let's see how it goes. And then, yeah, well, I have seen Ottawa have scored early. Not a surprise for me, not on Wild right now, but maybe a great live bet. Let's see how the Wild are doing, actually. And yeah, well, then the late games. Actually, how the action as well in the late games. Have taken Islanders today. Well, the last time they played Seattle, that was a pretty tough spot a little bit for Islanders. I think they were on back-to-back against Seattle there. They lost 3-0 at home. Now they're on the road. We know Islanders are pretty okay on the road, actually. They started the season, they had 20 games on the road. So I think they're used to road. So I think they're getting win tonight in Seattle, yeah.
Yeah, and plus the Islanders were humiliated by Seattle at home earlier this year, 3-0. It was probably one of the worst games they played all year. For Seattle to go into Long Island and beat down the Islanders, shut them out 3-0 was as bad as it gets for the Islanders. They've had a lot of bad losses, Buffalo lately, Montreal at home, that Seattle game. But that Seattle game in particular, I remember watching it, Vito. They were lifeless in that game. Maybe they remember that here tonight when they play in Seattle, and you'll see a much better effort. And they're the rested team, with Seattle, of course, returning home back-to-back after being in Vancouver last night.
And I mean, Islanders lost to Montreal just now, last game, the Canadians. So they have to wake up a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. They've definitely got to improve just a little bit. We'll see if the Islanders can do that. They, like they said, they're running out of time. Like, they keep trying to say the right things, that they want to make the playoffs, that they're going to be a playoff team. But right now, it's not looking good for them. They just aren't making up enough ground. And, the games are dwindling down. The points, they're not piling up the amount of points they should against teams they really need to beat, like your Montreals and your Buffaloes and your Seattles lately. So, they are running out of time. We got Florida going to the power play here against Nashville with about 14 minutes left in the first period. So Florida going to the man advantage in that game. Still just the one goal in the action so far, which is good. Yep. We actually want a slow start in some of these games because we want some live betting opportunities.
I think so. Let's look at Leafs and Columbus Blue Jackets. There's no score at the moment. Each team has 3 shots on net already. Let me just check out the odds. Ian, you have perhaps the American odds. So let's just check on the overs there. So I have it here.
Columbus has got they've actually had the better last 2-3 shifts. Columbus has been playing in the Toronto zone in that game. No question about that. Bit of a slow start for Minnesota here against Ottawa as well, which is not totally unexpected. I mean, you've seen Minnesota. Obviously, they had the big win against Edmonton. They played Edmonton, Florida, Winnipeg, divisional game. Now you're playing outside the conference, outside the division, and an Ottawa team that's, not exactly one of the, teams that are going to be in the playoffs in the East as well. So it's just sometimes when you're playing a lesser team, especially outside the division, Vito, outside the conference, It takes you time to warm up and get into the game. And I think you're seeing that with Minnesota just a little bit right now.
Checking the expected goals, and Jackets are dominating expected goals at the moment.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. They've definitely they've pounced on the Leafs early. They haven't been able to beat Jack Campbell yet, but they have definitely had some they've had some good chances and good flurry of opportunities around the Toronto net so far early in this game. Blues and Flyers again still scoreless. Remember, Blues and Flyers, Hurricanes and Flyers on Monday. that game was scoreless after the first period. Do you know what the final score was of that game? 4-3 Carolina. So there were 7 goals after the opening period. So not totally shocking or worrisome that we're seeing a scoreless game right now. Florida has just scored. I mentioned they had a power play just a minute ago that they were going on the power play. They have scored with that man advantage. So a power play goal for the Florida Panthers, and they lead the Nashville Predators by a score of 1-0, 7 minutes into the opening period there. So I'm actually eyeing St. Louis Philly as the first live bet so far tonight. That one is scoreless, and that one you can see a 5, and I'm waiting for 5.5, Vito, with Toronto Columbus. We're still at 6.5. It's not good enough. I want 5.5. Damn it!
No, don't want to do anything with 6 in live. Only less, than before the game. Even 6 is high in live.
Yeah, absolutely. So there we go. That's the second goal of the night here on these early first 4 games of the Tuesday card. Sam Reinhart getting the goal on the power play. Huberdeau and Duclair getting the assists on that Florida power play goal. So 1-0 Panthers over the Predators. Not looking good for my first period on Nashville, but that's okay. Still 12 minutes to go. That going to be trouble for Nashville. This first period may be theirs for the taking, and they're trailing Florida, so not good. I mean, Florida, you would think they were going to be at their most vulnerable in this spot early in the game. Not the way you wanted to start if you're Nashville.
You couldn't really predict that it's going to be Rittich in the net as well.
That too. I mean, that's a problem as well. Exactly, that we were going to see. Obviously, UC Saros not in. That is good. I'm glad I totally glossed over mentioning that earlier. David Riddick is the goalie for Nashville tonight, not UC Saros. Kind of surprising. In my opinion. So we'll see how he plays, but obviously don't trust him. Now, Saros hasn't played great lately either, but never been a big fan of David Riddick. And what's interesting, Vito? You look at the schedule, Nashville doesn't play tonight. So this was just, we need to get David Riddick in there and give UC Saros a rest, give him a chance to recharge the batteries a little bit, hit the reset button, because it's obviously been a tough stretch for him since the All-Star break and the whole team.
Whole team, been a tough stretch. I mean, if you 4 losses in a row, most of the games, I would say, actually penalties. A lot of cases, taking a lot of penalties. Even if you kill the penalties, you get frustrated. Few players play, few players rest. Then they come together. They cannot find the synergy, and that's when you lose the momentum, basically. So should avoid the penalties. Nashville take a lot of penalties.
And that's going to kill them in a game like this against Florida. You can't give Panthers teams like that with that firepower, that penalties, and power plays. You can't give them power plays. You can't give them man advantage opportunities. And now I think Columbus might be about to realize that as well. They've just taken a penalty. So Toronto will go on the power play here with about 8 minutes into the opening period of that game. So let's see if the Jackets, Toronto's another team. You don't want to be taking penalties and spending the night in the box against them.
Yep, about that game as well. I mean, as we saw, Columbus have been playing actually a little bit low of competition lately. So for Columbus, I mean, it's going to be very important to limit their mistakes, because they cannot allow to turn the puck over how they do against Sabres. That game was terrible still, So if they do the same today, it's going to be hard against Leafs.
No, it definitely will. Leafs on the power play. Still 1-0 Florida, 1-0 Ottawa leading Minnesota. Those are the only games that we've had 2 goals. I don't know if Neil is asking anyone in the chat about making live bets. I can tell you I have not made any live yet, but we're close. We're looking for a 5.5 with the Leafs and Jackets. I'm looking for 5.5 at an even better price with Blues and Flyers. I'm going to see if I can get to the second TV timeout of that game at least. With that game before pulling the trigger on an over 5.5 with Blues and Flyers. So that's what we're looking at there. I might get involved with Minnesota at some point at a better number. I'm waiting on that to come down a bit. Right now, Minnesota minus 125. Still favored on the road despite the 1-0 deficit early on against Ottawa. So that's basically some of the targets, that I have right now. And it's almost like that moving target where when that comes within the scope of your rifle so to speak, or in betting range, if you will, that's when I'll end up pulling the trigger. So we're looking at Minnesota plus number on them. We're looking at 5.5 at a good plus price with the Blues and Flyers, and we're waiting for Leafs Jackets to come down to the 5.5 mark with that live in-game total. And then maybe look to take it. Like it's down to 5.5 now, minus 140. I'm going to get greedy and see if I can get an even money or a plus price with that over between the Leafs and Blue Jackets at 5.5. Looks like Minnesota going back on the power play. Another penalty taken by Ottawa. Ottawa killed the first penalty, and they've just gone right back into the box, and second straight power play opportunity for the Wild.
Yeah, definitely need to keep an eye on those overs. I mean, there's a lot of ways how to play live, especially hockey. Yeah, my favorite ways is definitely when it's slow start and jump on those overs. And sometimes with the teams like Islanders, I once was a game this season. It was Tampa against Islanders. Both of the teams scored early, made it 1-1 in like 5 minutes. And then I bet it was under 7 available. So I love to play these type of games under 7 early with the Islanders. Yeah. So yeah, now I'm checking definitely on those overs. Columbus, Toronto is what got my eye. And watching this Blues and Philly game, not sure what, no many chances at the moment here. Few shots from all around, but not big like scoring chances.
Yeah, exactly. I think, look, if you're the Flyers, you did a lot of good things defensively against Carolina. They went basically 10 minutes, Vito, without a shot, Carolina, yesterday in the first period against Philadelphia. I think they even realize this. Our guy, Martin Jones, we can't have him facing 30, 40 shots a night, or else we're going to get killed in the game. This guy's he's not capable against that many shots of keeping you to scoring less than 5 goals to the opponent. So they're almost at the point where they've got to try to limit and minimize the shot volume on this guy because he's just not a reliable tender at this point in time. And they tried to do that with Carolina. They actually had the better of the play, and they still lost the game because somehow, some way, that's Martin Jones. It doesn't take many opportunities or shots or chances for the opponent to put the puck in against him.
Yeah, well, Flyers always find a way to lose actually this season. Well, how they lost against Caps, that's another story.
That was brutal loss too. They've had so many of those this year. They've had so many bad losses, so many just absolutely brutal defeats this year, and it's continued that way for that team. It's just been awful to see how many different ways they have lost hockey games this year. Final minute collapses, and they make comebacks, and then they just can't finish it off. The Jackets have good pressure right now on the Leafs. The Predators have some good pressure right now on Florida, but it is still 1-0. Panthers so far. Sergei Bobrovsky holding the fort for the Florida Panthers in that game, maintaining a 1-0 Panther lead in that one. But the Jackets have the better of the play right now, to be sure, against the Leafs. We're looking at an 11-5 shots edge. Expected goals are in their favor, as Vito mentioned. This is just great pressure right now by Columbus, and the Leafs kind of just hanging on right now, looking to clear the zone repeatedly, which they have been doing. So that's the way that one's going. Still 1-0. Another great penalty kill by the Ottawa Senators. So that's back-to-back power plays for the Minnesota Wild that have gone by the wayside. So credit to the Senators. This is the game they want. They got the early lead. They're going to try to tighten it up, make it difficult, help out Anton Forsberg, play good, steady in front of him, and they're off to a good start in that regard. Still 1-0 Florida, still scoreless. Now we're at the TV timeout, and the 5.5 Vito plus 160 for that Blues Flyers. It's getting up there. I know if I wait too much longer, I'm going to end up paying the price for it.
Leafs, you mean Leafs or Blues Flyers?
Blues Flyers. I'm going to wait just a little longer.
Just freezed.
And we have a goal. Toronto's just scored.
All right, that's good. Well, we needed to jump on over. I watching this over. But okay, what about Leafs?
Michael Bunting, too. Cash that. Michael Bunting,
I told you,
goal score prop, plus 210.
Let's go.
There we go.
Oh, hey, and you know what? That's a turnover, Ian.
Yep. A Jackets turnover? You're kidding me.
Yeah, D-Man just put the puck in the middle of the ice on Marner's stick.
Yeah. Yeah, bad turnover.
What I was talking about. You have to limit this against a team like Toronto. They will score. and they just scored there.
Yeah. I mean, saying the Blue Jackets turned the puck over is like saying that Ian drinks one beer a day. Everybody knows that. It's not a shock. It's not a shock whatsoever. And that's what we just saw right there. And Bunting.
Predators scored, right? Predators on the board.
And Predators have just tied it up. Yep, there we go. Good call, 1-1. Predators and Panthers. Predators have tied it up as well. So I mentioned on the Ice Guys show, go back to Michael Bunting. He was their best player last night. He was the only forward that showed up against Montreal last night. And he had a bunch of chances. And sure enough, first goal of the night for Toronto, he scores at plus 210. And Michael Bunting has scored a lot of his goals on the road this year. That's another thing to keep an eye out for him. It's just another reason why I like that prop. Forsberg, by the way, Philip Forsberg getting the Nashville goal to tie it up at a goal apiece. And we welcome in Alex B. Smith to the Betcast. Alex, welcome on board.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about. I was finishing up eating, and I was just about to grab that 5.5 with Toronto and Columbus. Type in my bet. And as soon as I hit click, all of a sudden locks up. All of a sudden there's a goal. Yeah. So, that's going to happen. More often than not, you're going to get frozen out of some things right away. But so far, just kind of interesting. And seeing the Ottawa getting an early lead on the Wild. I'm kind of right there with you too, trying to get a better price on the Wild live money line. They should be able to come back on this one, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that's what we're waiting for, a good price. See, I was waiting for plus money for 5.5 with the Leafs jacket. So unlike Alex, I was never looking to bet it like within the next minute or two. Yeah. I was getting greedy, looking for the plus money.
See, I got $1.10, and I was ready to go, and so so plus money probably would have. I mean, it probably would have been another 2 minutes maybe for it to go plus.
And that's what it's always about, is just that timing of it. And we just came up a little bit short in that regard. All right, I'm going to jump in. Blues Flyers over 5.5 plus 190. Bam, we're in. Okay. Blues Flyers over 5.5 plus 190. First live bet for me of the night.
Blues I have that first period over, and I'm seeing that locked already. So I don't know if it's timeout or if there's a goal scored.
I've got that. I've got the Nashville, Florida game on, the Leaf game on. I've got the Minnesota, Ottawa game on. Looks like I think we might have something. We do. It's a wow.
Well done.
Did I get that in time? Blues
well done. Yeah.
1-0 St. Louis. Wow. That makes up for missing out on the Leafs jackets.
That's the thing. You can have that, and I've had that plenty of nights where one play I get bounced out of, and then I get lucky with an entry like that. So nice job.
Wow. That's like literally I got that in, and like 6 seconds later or so, then obviously we had the goal.
That's when Alex said TV timeout. That was the one the goal happened, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That was the time. You can't ask Martin Jones to get through a whole period scoreless, can you?
No.
Yeah. Mr. Beach Ball, Mr. Sandcastle. Sandcastle's at the beach. Beach balls when Mr. Beach Ball can't stop him. Can't see him. Can't stop him.
Yep.
There you go.
Let me see who scored. I think it looks like
I hope nobody on Martin Jones's like best friends or family don't watch this show at any point. They're gonna be too happy with me.
We've ran through a few goalies on this show over the years. So
Bell from Sabres.
All right. So wow, as for as bad as the timing was for that missing out the Leafs jackets, boy, we made up for it with the Blues and Flyers. We get in just before that first goal for the St. Louis Blues, and it is as I mentioned, 1-0 there for the St. Louis Blues, getting that first goal against the Philadelphia Flyers. Braden Shen getting the goal unassisted. 1-0 St. Louis there. Alex, in terms of the board pregame bets, because you weren't on the show with us earlier today, what did you like?
Yeah, so I had Blues Flyers first period over. I laid $1.35 with that and went up to $1.40. You can grab it now. I mean, obviously there's 7.5 minutes left. You can get that minus $1.15 at 1.5. Blues have been on an incredible run, 12 straight first period over. So hoping somebody can get one more goal there and keep that streak rolling. That's the only thing that I really had tonight. Everything else I was trying to wait for tonight to kind of do in game. I said liked Wild, grateful to see that they're down, and hopefully, I think it should be plus money now at this point, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to go back to it.
All right, good stuff. Now I do have Toronto team total over 1.5 plus 170 in the first period pending.
Oh,
so
okay.
one more goal from the Leafs, and they've got about how much time to get it? Under
About
5 minutes.
4.5 left. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So still very much in play, though. That's plenty of time for the Leaf offense, their offense, and for the Jacket defense, both of them combined to allow for a Leaf goal to happen here in the in the final 4 minutes. And JF Berube, who, again, we pounced on the Buffalo Columbus over with him in net on Sunday in that game. And like I say, this is just a journeyman goaltender who's been with a bunch of different organizations, and most of his starts have been AHL bound. And somehow Jackets have given up a 2-on-1 rush here to the Leafs. And, wow, good stand-up save there by Berube. He didn't crouch down. I think that's what helped him out there in that one. It's back and forth. The pace is just electrifying in this Leafs game. It's just back and forth. Bad defensive hockey on both sides and just trading chances. So the bottom line is, if this comes back around to 5.5 again, guess who's not going to miss out getting in on it this time? This guy. All right, so Nashville going on the power play against Florida in a 1-1 tie. They have tied it up after giving up the first goal. Minnesota still trailing Ottawa 1-0, and of course still 1-0 for St. Louis in that one, leading the Philadelphia Flyers. But Nashville on the power play is significant because I'm sitting on Nashville plus 160 in the first period. Just took a shot with them considering, Florida's off the road trip, a very rested Nashville team that played a good first period against Carolina the other night. That was their best period. Maybe jump on Florida early. I felt I was more comfortable doing that with Nashville than trusting them to beat Florida for 60 minutes, which, I don't know if I trust them to do that. But so far, they've got a chance here. They've tied it up after giving up the first goal. Now they're on the power play, trying to take the lead here with about 5:45 left in the first period of that game. So there we go with that. And Senators going back on the power play, or Senators going on the power play for the first time, I should say, in this game against Minnesota. Solid start for the home underdog there.
I mean, already 2 penalties for Senators. They're leading 1-0.
Yeah. So you figure at some point the Wild are gonna have to gonna get that offense rolling and chip in a goal. So
yeah.
Terry's getting wild for another reason. He's getting wild with frustration and anger and anxiety over this first period for Minnesota. Yeah, that's what's getting him wild right now.
He thought he's going to be on the Betcast, but I guess he, in the end, couldn't handle the pressure.
I was going to say, because Terry's usually a shoe-in to be on these, but you're right, Minnesota's playing, and I think he gets a little, I don't know, his facial expressions would scare the living shit out of people, maybe, when he's watching a Wild game. So he said, I can't put people through that kind of torture or scarred for life experience, so I just can't. I just got to stay off for a bit, at least till the Wild game ends. Yeah. Oh, shit. You're right. You know what? I usually do just automatically send you the link, Terry. You're right. It's at the point, because last week I did. You're right. I will have to send it to you then. You're right. Because I said last week, you're almost like a regular now every Tuesday on the Betcast. So you're right. I just should automatically send it to you every week. You don't need to request it anymore like some other people. So there you go. That's okay. That's good. I was just worried because there's some people that when their team is playing, they don't want to be bothered. They don't want it. They don't want anybody in the room with them when their team is playing. Never mind appearing on a Betcast with hundreds of people watching.
That was me during the Hawks, the Stanley Cup runs. It was pretty much just I didn't have people over. I was on the phone with my mom, and we were watching the game basically like every night. So I totally get that when it's certain things and certain spots, you just kind of wanted to stay a little, kind of grounded, don't want too many distractions around you. So.
There he is, Terry. Yeah, I forgot to send it to you. I forgot. You're one of those people that we just automatically send you the link every show. 2-0 Ottawa, though. Oh,
wow.
There are bad news, Terry.
Yeah, hasn't been a good first period, but a big game. Lots of 2 periods left, so Wild money line will probably be looking pretty good.
I love this one.
I'm going to take Minnesota at some point because we know they're not out of a game, 2-0 down against anybody. And Senators are tightening things up. That's the one thing that when they are trying to play like a more of a shut it down style right now without Batherson and without Norris. Although Shabbat's back tonight, which is huge for them, obviously.
He already scored.
Yep, exactly, and already scored one of their goals.
First one.
Yeah, the first one, and they weren't expecting him to be back necessarily, but tonight for sure. But the fact he is huge. A massive, massive boost for the Ottawa Senators.
I mean, you can just not go and just bet against Ottawa. I mean, at this point, I think when they're home, they're just playing good against every single team, and you could just not. I avoided it today, and I will avoid it. I think when they play home now because they play good.
No doubt. They're stingy, and Tkachuk is definitely one of the heartbeats of the team. That's why he's the captain. He's always seems to have that motor going. Even on nights Ottawa's not playing that great. But again, we got lots of time left. By the way, Minnesota now plus 220. That's what we're looking at. Plus 225 in some spots. So it's getting to the point where that's a price that I'm going to maybe if they get into the intermission still down 2-0, that's probably when we'll look at a Minnesota. You know what I'll do probably too? A Minnesota second period puck line. Do you know how many times I like those bets with a good team after a bad period to come back the next period and play better? And the period puck line is usually a good option.
Yeah, I was gonna say a second period over is something I might look at as well with that game.
Yeah, definitely. Because you would think, and Dean Evison, by the way, when things are going well, he still looks like he's going to murder your family. I mean, when you look at his facial expressions behind the bench there, he's got that cold-blooded assassin facial expression most of the time. And so, can you imagine now what it's going to be like down 2-0 after the first period? Yeah.
Yeah, they'll make the necessary adjustments for sure.
Yeah. Like, seriously, it looks like he's going to take an axe and just wipe out everybody that I love. I mean, seriously, yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah. He was a tough hombre.
See him when the Wild win.
Yeah.
When the Wild win, especially in overtime, he punches all.
Oh, yeah, punches everybody. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Punches everybody on the
Oh, he's an intense son of a gun. No doubt about that. Yeah, no question.
It's 12-11 in shots for the Sens, so I don't know if this is a Talbot issue. I didn't get to see most of the game here because the stream wasn't working for me. But now it is.
I mean, that first goal was a bit,
bit shaky.
Talbot it's a bit shaky, and Talbot has had his moments of late. And like I said, I've been kind of wondering that. And Terry, I'll get your take on it. Do you think that the Wild, if they, maybe kick the tires, obviously you don't want to make a drastic move, but if there's a goalie available, do you think the Wild should try to maybe bolster that position? Maybe if you can move Talbot and get an upgrade, and that would you do that?
I definitely think so. I watch a show on YouTube, a Wild show, and they were discussing that Fleury could be an option. So, but it sounds like Chicago would want Kakinen back.
Yep.
And I'm not interested in that.
It's funny because I actually mentioned that about 3 weeks ago. I was talking to somebody here in Minnesota, and I mentioned that. I said, Fleury would be a great option, but we're going to need Kakinen because there's really not anybody in Iowa that would be worth developing for the Hawks. We've already got.
We're asking about what if we send Talbot and prospect.
So something like a three-way deal. If you get a third team in there and you move Talbot, because Talbot could still go somewhere where they need a goalie, and then the Hawks could try to get somebody young. I was hearing rumors about Spencer Knight getting moved at some point, which I think is kind of crazy, but that would be an interesting thing. Spencer Knight comes to the Hawks, Talbot goes to Florida to back up Bobrovsky, and Fleury goes to the Wild.
Wow. Yeah, it's Spencer Knight. I'd have a hard time believing we'd have Spencer Knight moved in any.
I mean, well, that's the thing, and obviously there would be like drafted. The Hawks would have to probably give up a couple of first rounders or something in that, but I think that would be worth it. Honestly.
Yeah, I think so. Spencer Knight has had a sophomore slump. So what? We don't throw him under the bus, or we throw him.
No, but you also you got other guys in that Florida organization that are going to be coming up at some point. So they got this log jam because they're stuck with Bobrovsky. Oh, granted, he's been playing lights out, but they're kind of stuck with him for another couple of years. So they could kind of at some point Knight is going to be a backup for 3 years, and then once they can move Bobrovsky, he's ready to start. He's probably not going to want to wait around that long.
No.
So.
No, that's probably right. We got a late first period power play for Toronto with under a minute to go. So we'll see if they can get this second goal for the team total, but they're running out of time. We've got someone new joining the Betcast here. We've got Occupancy, who was in our chat. He's requested the link, and I think he wanted to join us last week and couldn't make it or something anyway, but he's here now. Happy to have him. Occupancy. Now, do you want to give out your real name or not? Like Cheshire Cat is one of our guests on this show. I still don't know what his real name is, to be honest. It's just Cheshire Cat. So it's up to you. Whatever. Either way, welcome to the Betcast.
I appreciate it. It's nice to be on the show. I was in Ted before, so cool with the name, no worries, and really appreciate what you guys do here.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you tuning in and enjoying the show every day, 7 days a week. We're here. So the period's over in Columbus, 1-0. Toronto after one period. By the way, Minnesota, Ottawa, 2-0 Senators after the first period. That game now in the first intermission. We got the Blues and the Flyers, just seconds left in the first period, still 1-0. St. Louis, 19 seconds to go, first period there. And now we're inside a minute left as well in Florida with a 1-1 tie between the Predators and the Panthers. We got 5.5 minus 120 for the Leafs Jackets total. I'm not going to wait around this time. I'm going to take that minus 120. Usually I was going to say wait for the plus price. I'm going to jump on that now, minus 120 for the Leafs and Blue Jackets over 5.5. The 5.5 shot minus 120 is not an exorbitant price to lay. So there we go with the Leafs and Jackets over 5.5 minus 120. We are at 6 seconds to go, and the first period is now done in Philly. 1-0 Blues leading the Flyers after 20 minutes there. And the Predators and Panthers are also just coming to the conclusion of the first period. 1-1 Nashville and Florida after the first period. So there we go. We've got 4 games all at the first intermission. And now we can make some decisions for the second period if anyone wants to get involved in anything. Again, 1-0 Leafs after 1. 1-1 tie Nashville, Florida after 1. Ottawa leading Minnesota by a score of 2-0 after 1. And the St. Louis Blues up 1-0 on the Philadelphia Flyers after 1. Occupancy, let's get you in here because this is your first time on the Betcast. Let's find out a little more about you, favorite team. How are you doing from a betting standpoint this season? And how did you find the show? How long have you been betting? All that good stuff.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, hear you good.
Right on. I started betting about a year ago. Originally from Long Island, played travel hockey out there for years. So I'm an Islander fan. So it's been an interesting season.
Tough year this year. I was going to say it's not been a tough lot in life because the last few years have been pretty good. Good ride for your team the last couple.
Yeah, having like the different stadiums too, like going to Brooklyn for a couple games, and then obviously the old Coliseum. So it's just like a great hockey area. And then betting was an interesting ride the first year. Just like knowing what I know now and watching you guys for probably seriously for a month or maybe 6 weeks, since like around the turn of the new year, and definitely seen like how my performance is changing, like just analysis, the way you look at the games and stuff. It's really neat to like compare that with like the data Auto puts out, and it's ups and downs like you'd expect for a business like this. But yeah, I'm loving it. Definitely seeing how you can make a living doing this.
Not easy. Not easy. It's a little bit easier now that you're doing so much content and getting paid to do content. That has changed things significantly for the better. There's no question about that, but it isn't easy. That's true. And it's something you've got to stay at day to day. You've got to go through. You're not going to always, it's not guaranteed income, not guaranteed money, because you're going to have losing days and you're going to have to give some back. So that's the biggest struggle of it for sure. There's no question. But it is what it is. You find that the more experience you get, I think Alex is someone that's been doing this just about as long as I have. Yeah. You find when you get more experience, and we're into our 10th season, 12th season, probably in terms of NHL betting and sports betting in general, you just find that a little bit more about things in certain situations. And we've been able to change our thought processes and our opinions on stuff based on the changing marketplace, which just never stays static. It's always changing. It's always evolving. And that's key. You just cannot stay in one frame of mind. You've got to continuously improve and tweak things and adjust things and learn to adjust with the way things are going in the betting markets at that time.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing too with, especially now with the legalization expanding, what people look at, from a gambling aspect is so different now. Like I said, this is something we've been doing for a long time, but you've got people who jump in, in the first couple of years. And like I said, it's all about how you see the game. Most people, you kind of, like I said, you're opening yourself up to a different dimension when you're betting a game. You can watch a sport, you could play a sport for 20, 30 years. But once you start looking at things from a sense, because you have the game itself, obviously, and things that are going on, but you have, literally the game within the game of trying to get the best of a number when you're betting live or trying to see where our market's going to move. And obviously, you have to kind of have that contrarian thought of view. Sometimes you have to kind of go against the grain, go against the people. It's not an easy thing to just naturally do. Your natural gut instinct is to kind of go along with the crowd usually. So kind of having to retrain your thought process and it changes the way you watch the game, honestly. Not to say that I don't enjoy watching a game if I don't have money on it. I know there's some people who are in this industry that, can say that they don't watch sports. Some people don't even really love a sport nearly as much once they bet on it. But, I try to, keep the love that I have for, the sports that I watch and bet on. And you have to be able to kind of separate that sometimes in your head.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Yeah, it's a great point. Now, I can't imagine someone doing well at this kind of career path, not watching sports, not watching any of the games. I'll never understand how you could just be a numbers guy. Yeah. But some people can do it, and I'll tip my cap to them. For me, it's just observational handicapping. I don't know. I think I'd be kind of lost without it. If I wasn't able to watch these teams and watch these games on a nightly basis when it comes to hockey and basketball, or a weekly basis when it comes to football, I think I'd be in a much tougher situation trying to profit, quite honestly.
Yeah. I like, Bill Krakenberger, Crackman's a guy who, that's a ton of money on different sports, but he hates watching the games. He doesn't even go into he goes to the sports book to place his bets. But he says, on an NFL Sunday, he'd rather, be somewhere else, having lunch and not even watching the games. Kudos to him. And he's been doing it for a long time. And he's very successful. But, I love the game too much. I want to watch the games on a nightly basis. That's what drew me into this industry.
Yep, absolutely right. So you're living where now, occupancy?
I'm in the Bay Area right now.
Yeah, that's why you got the perfect. Now it's crystal clear why an Islander fan is wearing a San Jose Sharks.
Hey, Alex, I was just gonna ask. I mean, what, like you're saying, like seeing the differences in like the modern games. I love watching too. Like, what have you noticed? Like, at least like really recently, like even post ASG, like just happening with these lines and movements, like that like has helped your betting.
Well, I mean, for one thing, it's we've kind of had to be on the defensive. You've seen some exorbitantly high favorites, and I'm not a guy who I'll lay a big price maybe in football or basketball, but I'm not trying to lay $1.50, $1.60, $2 when I'm betting hockey. And so when you see these games that the other night we had where everything was a $2 favorite or higher. And obviously that's going to increase as the worst get worse, and the top of the league rises, continues to rise to the top. So that's kind of been the difficult thing, is just trying to navigate and finding where value is. Value is a little bit harder to come by nowadays, and I don't know if that's because of just how many people are betting hockey more now than years ago, or if it's just it's overcorrections from the books themselves. The books still have to deal with other things. That's why hockey's so great, because there's, right now, the NFL's over, but NBA is going to be back in full swing in a week. College basketball getting into tournament time. Those are the things that the books are focused on, and you can still find some soft numbers and some value in hockey. But it's getting a little harder because more people are betting hockey, and the books are realizing that they're getting beat at certain things. The first period over is probably the best example ever, where we see those numbers just adjusted now, completely out of whack, to the point of, you have to try to play them in game. And live betting has become a huge thing for me in the last couple of years now because of that fact. So I've done way more live betting in the last 2 years, as opposed to there'll be days that, I can go 3 or 4 days and not have a pregame bet, but I'll have, 5 or 6 things live every night.
Yeah. That's a great point. First period overs. I mean, 2-3 years ago when the craze first started, people started paying attention to them. We noticed teams going on these crazy runs. You know, you'd be getting minus even money. You know, you even get plus 110 on some of these over 1.5s in the first period. Now you see a Leaf Jacket first period over tonight minus 180. You know, there you go, and you got to get 2. You know, for the to get even a decent price on these first period overs. You know, it's basically like Pokemon. You know, Pokemon in the 90s when it was just on the scene, it was terrific. It was great. Everyone was just getting into it. And then 5 years later, it went extinct. And that's kind of like first period overs in terms of the value quotient. It's gone extinct. It's harder to get the value now pregame, which is why Alex, as he said, live wagering and getting better numbers, adjusted numbers and prices after maybe a 5-minute scoreless stretch early in the game. That definitely matters for sure. I just want to reiterate, because we do want to get to this before the second periods begin, what we're going to do in terms of live betting now, decision making. I can tell you I am going to bet Minnesota minus a half, even money plus 100. So that's Minnesota Wild minus a half plus 100, second period puck line. So all they have to do is get this to within a goal minimum against the Ottawa Senators. They're down 2-0 right now. If Minnesota wins the second period, there you go. That bet cashes. Minnesota minus a half plus 100. Second period puck line for me. I like this with the better team, even though they might not be the better team tonight. Maybe they do lose, but sorry, Terry, but we got to at least consider that possibility. But they might lose, but I like them to have a better second period. Obviously, they didn't like taking 2 penalties in that opening period, being in the box so much. Minus a half plus 100 is a good price, the good team. Minnesota in the second period, minus a half for me, plus 100. So that's one I'm going to bet. Vito, I know it's been a nice opportunity for you to take a break here, but what are you thinking right now? Anything, or are you going to wait a little bit for live bets?
Well, I'm on Leafs regulation, Blues regulation at the moment. Both of the teams are leading. Both of the teams leading by 1 goal. That's very sketchy. I'm not sure about Blues and Flyers over, but definitely Leafs and Jackets. They're gonna wait for the plus price and then they're gonna jump on it. They're gonna wait a little bit. Second period's gonna start. If it starts slow, they're gonna jump on the live. I'm gonna tell it.
Yeah, I didn't wait. I got minus 120, but I hear you. Maybe just wait even 3 minutes, and you're probably going to get a plus number on that Leafs Jackets over 5.5, no question. So Minnesota minus a half plus 100, definitely locking. I'm going to wait for Nashville, Florida right now. Nothing there. Again, Leafs Jackets I took over 5.5. I'm in with that. I'm already on over 5.5 plus 190 on the Blues Flyers. It jumped on that literally seconds before Braden Shen scored that Blues goal. It's 5.5 plus 145 though now. So again, it's back to that good number, good price, because after that Blues goal, we didn't see anything after that. And I remind you again, Carolina Philly was scoreless after the first period yesterday in that Monday afternoon game. It ended up 4-3. So it kind of feels like second, third period, the floodgates might open a little bit more in that St. Louis, Philadelphia game. So I'd still recommend it. If you didn't get on the plus one, you probably didn't, because it just barely, I barely got it in. But you can get plus 145, plus 150 right now. St. Louis, Philly over 5.5. It is a good number, good price.
Yeah, I just jumped on that. I grabbed plus 145 right now looking at that. And like I said, when you mentioned it on the show, I literally went to switch windows and it was already locked. So you got that in. I mean, it literally like 2 seconds. It's about as close as I've seen a live bet go in a while. So
yeah, no kidding. Whew. I was very, very fortunate to get in on that. Terry, is there anything right now that you're interested in betting, or are you going to stand pat, wait a little bit longer to find something?
I tailed you on that Wild second period.
Of course.
Obviously,
naturally, you had to.
After that, I will see. I want to see how the Wild come out here in the second before I look at the money line. However, if they do come out and score, obviously the money line, the price will go down quite a bit. So, not sure. I'd really like to see some goals in this Columbus game by Columbus. I'd really like to see some Blues goals because I went heavy on the props for Columbus and Blues. So. If Toronto Columbus gets over 5.5 at plus money, I may have to jump on that.
I might also look at a Toronto team total over 3.5 at some point. because the one thing I am concerned about for the full game over is Columbus doing their share. Jack Campbell's been pretty good. Defensively, they've not been great, but they've managed to keep the puck out of their own net. This looks like it may be one of those nights where the puck's just not going to go in easily for the Jackets. And again, if you would assume if Toronto maintains the lead, if you get a 3.5, there's a good chance we can see Toronto add on a couple more. They damn well should against Berube, who's been a journeyman goalie for years, and a suspect defense. And if they're up, say, a 3-1 late in the game or 3-2, there you go. The Jackets are going to have to pull the goalie, and there's your chance for goal 4 for that Leaf team total. So I'm going to wait to see if I can get a plus price on that at some point. And if I can, the Leaf team total over 3.5 will interest me as well. In that Leafs Jackets game. Occupancy, what about you? Are you going to just wait before getting in on anything?
The biggest play I liked tonight, like a lot of you, was the Blues puck line. And sorry, I just got trained to use the decimal odds, so it's like it's hard to, talk.
That's okay. There's a lot of people I know that use it, but yeah, the Blues puck line before the game was minus the Blues puck line was plus 120. Blues puck line, yep.
Yeah, so it's really not. I'm really not going to take it. I'm seeing 1.57 right now for that. But I am tempted. I didn't get to watch the Wild Senators first period, so I was really more focused on the Preds. But if the Wild are going to make a run, it's great value right now for really, anything on their side.
Yeah.
But I didn't see if the period was close. Like, how did it look from anyone's perspective who was watching?
Slight edge Ottawa, 1 danger chance apiece. Expected goals were 0.33 for Minnesota and 0.54 for Ottawa. So Ottawa did have a slight edge in that, but it's not anything awful, And the fact is that still Minnesota got outplayed, and you'd expect, Dean Evison to remind his team of that in the first intermission.
Chabot 1+1. Like, this is a big guy for Ottawa, man. He comes in, he gets 1+1 in first period, and Ottawa is leading 2-0.
Yeah.
Okay, that game just now started, by the way, guys.
Yeah, it did. By the way, the Blue Jackets, 0.89 to 0.47 expected goal margin in the first period over the Leafs, which is not surprising at all. They actually had the better of the play in that first period. 3 danger chances, high danger chances, 3 for the Jackets, just 1 for Toronto. That's another reason why I think, Toronto team total is going to be, because you got to think that we got to push a little bit better than that, not playing our own zone so much. So hopefully, again, it's a balance between, I know Toronto's going to come out better in the second period, but at the same time, they're already up 1-0, but it's misleading that they're up 1-0 because probably Columbus deserved a little better. But at the same time, you've got the balance between Toronto wanting to have a better period, maybe a fast start, but also wanting a better price on that 3.5 over their team total than, say, minus 175, because that's what it is right now. And I ain't touching it at that price. Just no way, no how am I doing that. So that's why we're just going to wait. Just hopefully maybe the Leafs have chances, don't find the back of the net, and bring that price down on the Leaf team total over 3.5 just a bit. So, yeah, good call, Vito, there. That is the one game of the 7 o'clock games that is already underway in the second period, Minnesota and Ottawa. First minute gone by, and 2-0 Senators in that game. The other 3 games are just about, I believe, to drop. Actually, Toronto-Columbus is probably the next game to drop the puck, because the last 2 to go to first intermission were Nashville, Florida, St. Louis, Philadelphia, pretty much almost simultaneously. Fly for Susan, New York, saying, hope you guys can give us daily picks on the podcast. I hate waiting for Tuesday and Thursday. The podcast and the live YouTube show are the same thing. The podcast usually gets produced right after the live show ends, and it goes up for podcast listening, usually about an hour or 2 hours after the Ice Guys. So that's usually when that gets played. So we'll see here. Leafs 1-0. They have just started the second period. Leafs and Jackets now. Second period underway there. I'm on I took over 5.5 at the intermission. for Leafs and Jackets, -120, and I took Minnesota -0.5, +100 second period puck line. So did Terry, our resident Wild fan, which you would have expected nothing different. Absolutely getting in on that. By the way, it's time to finally have a drink. Cheers to everybody on the Betcast. Cheers to those of you that have tuned in live tonight on YouTube as well. Salute to another Tuesday night, and we'll be doing these every Tuesday night.
Amazing, guys. Leave some. Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
Oh, sorry, no, I was just gonna say I just grabbed over 1.5 in the second period for Minnesota Ottawa -$1.20. So just added that.
All right, and by the way, the looks like William Nylander in the box for the Leafs, taking them out of a power play. So it's going to be 4-on-4, and then a Blue Jackets power play coming up.
Yeah, guys. If I wouldn't have the wager on Leafs already, I sometimes if I have a wager on the game, I don't like to bet it live more, because I don't. Sometimes I usually end 1-1 in the end, so I don't want to do that. But I would definitely jump on over 5.5, as Ian has mentioned, because Toronto and Leafs, they should. You see already two power plays. No power play already in the start of the period. I think there will be some goals.
Yeah. So there we go. Again, like I said, I'm on the Wild in the first second period puck line +100. And that's, look at how just after a couple minutes in the second period, I'm seeing that Minnesota second period puck line's +115 now. So look at how it just changes. Just, barely a couple minutes into the second period, with that game still 2-0 Ottawa. So that's the beauty of live betting. If you can be patient long enough and hope that nothing happens before you pull the trigger, you can really take advantage of great adjusted prices.
Just have to pull that trigger.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you got to do. No question about that. So still 1-1 Nashville, Florida. They're now underway in the second. Same with St. Louis, Philly. So we've got all games back from
Minnesota on the power play.
Yeah. I was just going to say, if you see me throw my headphones down, I'm keeping an eye on if the game goes suspended so that nothing gets ruined for me. So my reaction will be a little behind because I'm watching on stream.
And how about that? Minnesota's going on the power play. Do you know how the live line just changed on that Minnesota second period puck line? It went from +115 to -110, just with them going on the power play. So there you go. There's the adjustment that's made, knowing obviously that the expectancy of a potential goal goes up with the team going on the power play.
This is their third power play too. So
yeah,
got to see a goal here.
Yeah, and we know they've got the firepower to capitalize on it. We'll see if they are able to do that. A good penalty kill just now by the Leafs. So the team's back to 5-on-5, even strength in that game, and it remains 1-0 at Toronto. By the way, it's now a plus price again with Toronto-Columbus, seeing +105 now on that over 5.5 with the Leafs and the Jackets. 1-1 Nashville, Florida, and again, Minnesota on the power play. I'm really keeping an eye on that one now, especially knowing that the Wild have an opportunity maybe to get back into this game, trailing 2-0 right now to the Ottawa Senators. Blues still up 1-0 on the Flyers. They're really starting to have good offensive zone time. Philly's trying to keep everything to the outside, keep everything to the boards area, not give up the middle of the ice. They're really trying. This is exactly what they did yesterday against Carolina for a large part of that game. They're trying to protect Martin Jones as much as they can. They know they can't have him facing 30, 40 shots a night, and they're doing everything they can to make sure he doesn't see that many.
Florida scored.
Yeah.
You are correct, Ed. Yep. You are correct.
Florida scored, exactly. Yeah, only Blues look a little bit fresher today than Canes yesterday. Look, Flyers have a little bit problems at the moment.
Yep. Minnesota down to 15 seconds left in their man advantage. Again, a lot of blocked shots by Ottawa. Great job by them. They're getting in the shooting lanes very well on this Minnesota. It's hard. Minnesota's trying to find an opening, and it's not easy to do that right now. So 2-1 Florida. That is the latest goal that has been scored for the Panthers. And again, I pushed on the Nashville first period money line. Again, took a shot with them. So that's exactly why I was looking more toward first period. You'd think Florida would get get stronger as the game goes on. And look who has scored this goal. I'm just seeing it on replay now. That goal-scoring dynamo, Bobby Orr himself. No, of course not. Radko Gudas getting the goal for the Florida Panthers. His first goal of the season. Man, that Bobby Orr type skill from the blue line. Radko Gudas getting the goal for Florida.
He looks like a tough guy to play against, to be honest.
Yeah. I can't remember the last time he scored, to be quite honest. It was a long time ago. So there it is, 2-1 for Florida. They've taken the lead in that game. Again, Minnesota power play goes by the wayside. So that's now 0-for-3 with the man advantage tonight for the Minnesota Wild as it remains 2-0 Ottawa in this game against the Ottawa Senators. But let me just see here. Florida still up 2-1. Looks like we have a goal. Minnesota, yes. I just put it back there, and because I'm going back and forth on one of my screens with the Florida game, the Minnesota game. Minnesota on the board. It is 2-1. Nice. We have got Minnesota back in this one. And good news for Minnesota puck line. Second period puck line bettors. We're in the catbird seat at the moment. Minnesota back in business and trailing the Ottawa Senators now by a score of 2-1. Kevin Fiala getting the goal for the Minnesota Wild. He, of course, has been terrific lately. And there's Terry going nuts. Terry going wild.
Going wild.
Getting wild with Terry right now on the BetCast. Yeah.
Fiala to score. Just cashed it. Thank you, Fiala.
Nice.
There we go. Big goal there for the Wild. He's been terrific lately. That's the 17th goal this year, by the way, for Kevin Fiala. He's another one of those guys. He looks like he's 8 years old, like Mitch Marner, and some, but doesn't play like he's 8 years old. And he has been terrific lately for Minnesota. And he gets the goal. Kulikov and Bukestad. By the way, it's nice to see Nick Bukestad back again for the Minnesota Wild. Or Nick Ballstead, as Don Cherry would call him. Nice to see him back. And it is now 2-1. The Wild back in it against the Ottawa Senators in that one. Nothing has changed in the other games. Still 1-0 Leafs, still 1-0 Blues, and still 2-1 for Florida, leading Nashville right now. You got to like what you've seen, obviously, this year from Kevin Fiala, right, Terry?
For sure, he had a rough start to the year. He wasn't looking good. But 2 games before Boldy came in, something seemed to change for him, and then Matt Boldy is just works perfectly with Fiala. They look great together. And it's funny, John Massey said they're 22 on 222. So I saw something about that earlier. But yeah, Fiala is. Oh, and it's year 2022 as well. So Fiala, number 22, scored on February 22nd, 2022. That's pretty cool.
And in the second period.
Yes.
Oh, in the second period. Oh, wow. Maybe that's some kind of premonition here that the Wild are going to come back. Money line is plus 120 now. So, yeah, that value is gone.
Yeah, they were plus 240 before that goal was scored. So
that was a terrific.
I saw it at 310.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
That was a terrific shot. Nobody picked him up. Fiala came flying in there. And we have a goal. Columbus has tied it against Toronto. 1-1. Leafs and Jackets. A ripper from Patrick Laine. Didn't bet him tonight. I forgot to.
He's been hot.
Gosh, damn it.
I think
and the shots on goal prop as well for him. I forgot as well. But I did take his prop over on Sunday night and to score. I mean, he has got it going right now. And the Leafs you can't give him 2-on-1 space like that. And it was a 2-on-1 rush. He had all the time in the world, picked his spot, and he rifled it over the glove of Campbell, posting in. Perfect shot.
Jenner did touch it. So I got Jenner assist plus 150.
Oh my goodness. It's a perfect shot. It's right off the inside of the post and in. It's nothing Campbell or any goal. Marty Brodeur, Bernie Parent, Grant Fuhr. Do you want me to go on down the list of the great goalies? Nobody is stopping that shot. It was a perfect shot. Yeah, and a great pass. And now it is 1-1. So that's good. It means the Leafs now can't just because I know they're trying to protect the net tonight. The Leafs, no doubt, after the debacle defensively against Montreal tonight. But that now forces them to have to be on the aggressive, at least offensively. And definitely we saw we're seeing signs of that now. You can see they're trying to push up ice a little bit here. The Toronto Maple Leafs immediately after giving up that tying goal to the Columbus Blue Jackets. So we'll definitely keep our eye on that. Right now it's 1-1 now, I should say, for the in that game as the Jackets tie it up against the Leafs. Keep our eye on that. Still 1-0 Blues, still 2-1 Panthers, leading the Nashville Predators. So those are the scores still with that. Leafs now.
Ottawa power play.
Ian,
I would say Ottawa's going to the power play.
There you go.
That was a
power
penalty
play.
he had to take, though.
Yeah.
It was a 2-on-1, and he tripped. Kulikov tripped the one guy, but that would have been a goal. So
Yeah.
that's an okay penalty in my opinion.
I agree. Any penalty that saves a A+ scoring chance or an incredible chance or a near goal, you got to take it. You
Right.
take the penalty every time in that situation. Yep. Take another sip. Salud. All right. So now after that, by the way, after that Leafs Jackets goal, 6.5 the live total. 6.5 at even money. So 5.5's wiped out just with Columbus scoring there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably gonna stay like that for a little bit too. I'm seeing it minus $1.30. Or no, let's see.
Yeah.
I got plus. I see plus 115. So it's gonna be between plus and 115, and it might drop down to minus $1.30. So we'll see at 6.5 hang around for a while. So if you got 5.5s already, then that works out. But yeah, probably not gonna see that again unless we see a drastic drop off the rest of this period.
Yeah. No doubt about that. And 4.5s are calling my name now in the St. Louis Philly game. If I see plus money on a 4.5, and I've already got 5.5, but I got
5.5. Too.
I'm going to drop a little on the 4.5 too, because look, halfway through the game, this is where we were at with Carolina, Philadelphia yesterday. It was like 1-0 this time of the game in the second period, and that game ended 4-3. In favor of Carolina. So there's no reason to panic yet. It's I've already got the plus 190 on over 5.5. We've got I'm just going to wait for this plus price to show up on 4.5 and going to be very interested to get involved with that. We've got another one of our Ice Guys crew members joining us now on the Betcast. Couldn't make it last Tuesday. I know he was crestfallen, heartbroken, disappointed he couldn't join us last Tuesday, but he's with us now. Andrew McInnis. Andrew, welcome in.
What's up, fellas? Good evening. It feels weird to chat with all you guys, not in the middle of the afternoon. So good to be here. Let's get to live betting. Let's do it.
Let's get to it. So in terms of, we know what you liked pregame. Obviously, earlier today, Andrew, you were with us on the Ice Guys show with Cheshire Cat was our special guest. But in terms of live betting, have you bet anything yet? And if not, what are you targeting right now?
Yeah, guys, honestly, I haven't been, I've been listening in and out of the show with you guys, checking the scores while I can. I don't always like to kind of double down on stuff but sometimes you can do it. Like when I lost in that first period over in the Avalanche and Bruins game the other day, and then I just took that live over because of all the chances that there were. And that's kind of how I feel about this Blues and Flyers game, the game you were just talking about. So that's the one on my radar right now. And I'm probably not going to wait much longer and might do that kind of as we speak right now.
Great, good stuff. Definitely.
What's the number you're seeing for that right now?
I'm seeing Blues and Flyers. I've already got plus 190, Andrew, over 5.5 Blues and Flyers, and I bet it like seconds before St. Louis got that first goal. The timing was just so lucky, freaking lucky on my part that I just didn't wait another. If I wait 5 seconds and I him and haw for another 5 seconds about it, I would have missed it completely.
Probably less than that, honestly.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy.
Yeah, it was just. Whew. But now it's gone down to 4.5, so you actually can get even better on 5.5 now. But even 4.5 at a plus price is what I'm targeting pretty soon in that game.
It's $1.20 now, so I say give it another 90 seconds.
Absolutely, yep. I'm waiting and waiting. Just give me another 2 minutes of scoreless hockey in that St. Louis Philly game, and give me that 4.5 at a plus price, and I'll be in with that for sure. Leafs going on the power play, by the way, against Columbus. In that game, tied 1-1. We've got the Leaf team total getting close to that plus money that I'm looking at for 3.5 over. So again, I'm just waiting. Can they get out of this? Can Columbus kill this power play? I might wait to see if they can, because like I say, I really want to try to get the plus price on that. Minnesota has just killed off that penalty. Ottawa did not capitalize with the power play, which is great for us Minnesota second period puck line bettors. We jumped in -0.5 plus 100. So far, so good. Minnesota with the 1-0 lead in the second period, still trailing the game 2-1. But for our purposes, they're leading the second period, and that's what we want, which is good to see. Absolutely. So, looking forward to seeing Leafs have blocked. What a chance the Leafs just had, but a great shot block, no question. So Matt, yeah, David, there's more women getting into hockey and betting overall. Like seriously, I'm not kidding about this. Compared to when I started 10 years ago, there was no women in the business for the most part, and only then Kelly Stewart was just starting to get into it at that time a little bit, and that was like 10, 12 years ago. Things have changed now. It's a lot more female involvement now in the sports betting sphere. It's not even close. Like it's been huge. Absolutely, it is. And people that are passionate about it. It's not just people that are trying to latch on and gain attention. It's people that do work, people that research, people that are watching games, people that are really into it. No question about that. We've got our own Melissa, who, by the way, congratulations again to Melissa on becoming a mom.
I didn't even know. Congratulations to her.
Yeah, it happened. She posted a picture of her and the little one the picture of the baby earlier this morning. So, congrats to Melissa. Congrats on being a mom. It's a great. Obviously, it's a life thrill for anybody that becomes a parent for the first time. So, great stuff. We've got another goal for the Minnesota. Or do we? Let me just make sure I've not seen things because I was not looking at it at the time. Hold on here. What have we got with the Senators and the Wild? No, I think it's still 2-1.
So I did jump in -115 over 4.5 Flyers Blues.
All right, there you go. Over 4.5, which we thought was a good bet at that time, no question. And but you can see it right now. Yeah, 4.5. It's got that plus price. You know.
Yeah, it is 2-2. Ian, Wild
2-2.
Senators.
Yep. Nice. There we go. That's our second period over. Got that.
Let's go, Terry.
There we go. Terry, there he is. Look at that celebration. Look at that passion. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
There it is. 2-2 for the Wild and the Senators. And now that just made us relax a little bit more with the first period puck line now. We're 2 goals clear now with that.
The captain, that was Spurgeon with the goal.
Jared Spurgeon, yep.
I wonder what the +1.5 was paying there for the Wild at one point.
It was 1.7, Andrew. I went in on it.
Nice, congrats! Yeah, good stuff. I just have that Wild and Panthers parlay.
Yeah. I think someone used inconsistent for Brady Kachuk's game today on the show.
Yeah.
And like totally in right by the net, which led to the Minnesota chance.
Florida. Ekblad. 3-1.
Yep.
Yeah, another goal for Florida. There you go. Yep, just saw it now on the corner of my screen. Yep, and it is Aaron Ekblad's just, I can't believe how good a year he's having. Unbelievable, this guy. He's healthy. He's a dominant defenseman. He plays a shit ton of minutes. He's great at both ends of the ice, good in his own end. The offensive side of the game is just remarkable. He scored a breakaway goal, of course, we remember, to beat Carolina. You remember last week, and it looked like a forward going in on the goaltender with that elite level finishing ability. Defensemen not supposed to be able to do that. Aaron Ekblad can do that. An unbelievable year for that guy, and he's just added to the Florida Panthers lead 3-1. Again, Minnesota's tied it up 2-2 with the Ottawa Senators with the Jared Spurgeon goal. So lots going on all of a sudden. A couple of goals, and by the way, here's. It looks like I'm just seeing the Minnesota goal again on replay here because I didn't see it live as it happened, but it was just basically Jared Spurgeon joining the rush, way too much time and space, and he rifled it over the glove of Anton Forsberg. It's just, that's bad job by Ottawa. You know, it's kind of like Edmonton earlier in the year, giving up the blue line, giving up zone entry way too easily, letting the defenseman rip right down the middle of the ice, all kinds of room, and he just rifled it over Forsberg. So that's just piss poor defending by the Sens there in their own zone. But we're happy about it.
Terry, I got to get a few more shots from Kaprizov, man. I got his over shots. I need 3 more.
Yeah, well,
gonna have to get you to call him up for me, man, at the intermission. Have a talk with him.
Hopefully.
Yeah, Wilder
Should be a good
36
Thursday.
and 12 now in the to the second period overs this year. With
Yeah.
this
Oh,
rejection.
Nashville just scored.
Nashville's up. Yep. Nashville back in it. Nashville. And it is 3-2. And way to go. Did you have that? Olaf FUB? Olafub. Ekblad plus 300 anytime goal scorer. Way
Nice.
to go. Nashville back within one, though. 3-2. A big goal for the Predators. This is like the quartet of overs we've got in these 4 games tonight. I took, each of them over the total, full game. I mean, Blues Flyers, Leafs Jackets at 6.5. Plus, I've added on the 5.5. Nashville, Florida. I haven't bet anything in game yet in that one. I just let the over 6.5 ride on it, and it's obviously in good shape with a 3-2 score right now. And St. Louis, Philly, still 1-0. And again, the Flyers are kind of doing what they did for a lot of the game against Carolina. They're trying to help out this poor guy, Martin Jones, and just trying to keep the shots at a minimum. They realize it can't be a shooting gallery on this guy, or else the other team's going to get 5 or 6. That's just the way it is. Leafs buzzing in the Jackets zone, but tell you what, Jackets not bad tonight. The active sticks are coming into play. They're making it difficult to complete passes right now. By the way, the shots, 19-15 for the Flyers to be only having given up 19 shots at this point. It's not terrible. So give them credit here. And the Predators are tied it. Holy shit!
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, what a weird game.
Wow. Boy, oh boy. Nashville strikes twice here against the Panthers and Sergei Bobrovsky in a span of just a couple of minutes here in this game. Very impressive by Nashville. A 3-1 deficit just mere minutes ago. Now all of a sudden we see it tied at 3 for the Predators. And that goal scored, it looks like, by, Yakov Trenin for the Nashville Predators. Playing on the third line tonight for them with Sissons and Tanner Jeannot. So Trenin scoring for the Predators. Didn't Cheshire Cat say something about Trenin earlier tonight?
I think he said something about Jeannot, for sure.
He said Jeannot, and he said, did he mention Trenin, or was it definitely I remember him saying Jeannot.
Trenin as well.
Did he?
He did, yeah. Way to go, Vito. Your memory's better than mine, obviously, but I guess I'd have it right, because I remember Cheshire Cat said, he had freaking Yakov Trenin for Nashville.
Vito, I gotta say, I love the Bucky. I love the bucket hat.
Hat, yep.
I just haven't been to hairdresser because here everything is closed if you don't have a certificate. So
right.
Vaccine passport over there too, huh?
Yeah.
Same things, yep.
Ian, that the prize picks, man. I have fun with that. I have Patrick Laine, I talked about on the show, cashed. Yep. Jack Campbell, I took his over on saves.
Yep.
He's already at 17, looking pretty good there.
That is, yep.
So I just need Kaprizov to get going for me.
Kaprizov's had games where he's been, 0 or 1 shots, and then there's games where he's lighting it up and he's got 5 shots. He's a very, very volatile game-to-game prop player, I find. Yep. Very,
With
very
Zuccarello
volatile
out,
props. Yep.
That may affect him because he's so used to playing with Zuccarello. And so not to have Zuccarello there might affect his game, but hopefully he gets going there.
Oh, there's still lots of time, though. That's the good news in that. And it's, again, 2-2, Wild and Senators, 4:40 to go, second period. Still 1-1 Leafs and Jackets, 3-3 now, Nashville, Florida. Rather stunning turnaround. The Blues are going on the power play, by the way, against Philadelphia. And that game is still 1-0. Alan, that's a great thought. St. Louis team total. Now, maybe I pivot more toward that because, the Flyers still trailing in this game. Going to have to, at some point, probably look toward opening things up a bit more, taking more chances. And that's really when the Flyers fall apart defensively, when they're pinching and they're over-aggressive because they just don't have the defensive acumen to sort out their coverage in their own zone. It's 2.5 minus 175 right now with the Blues team total over. So it's not at a price I'm interested in yet, but we might get there.
I just took a shot with over half a goal for the second period at even money in that Blues game. So hopefully Blues can cash on this power play. That's the best way to attack it because you're looking right now. Yep. I don't know if you guys have been noticing tonight so far that the next goal props, we pretty much haven't seen those. Yeah, I haven't seen those move much. Like you'd have to lay $1.60 right now with the Blues to get the next goal. So that's a better way of attacking that same kind of play. Just go with a half a goal in the second period.
Definitely. I definitely like that thought process there for sure, going with that.
The Blues are on the power play now.
Yep. Yeah, Blues are on
I'm
the
actually
power
shocked,
play.
guys, by this. Like, what the hell is going on? 1-0?
Yeah, 1-0 so far. Now, but by this point now, Flyers were starting to come unglued defensively against Carolina, because Carolina was starting to pour it on at this point, and it got worse for them as the game went on. But no, so far, Blues 30 seconds left on the power play. They're cycling the puck around pretty good. Flyers trying to keep them to the outside. Jones has been a little bit better. We'll give him some credit. He's made a couple of decent saves tonight in this game. So it's but they're playing better. They're trying to make sure they don't see or he doesn't see as many shots as Philadelphia has been giving up too many. They've been letting their goalies see too much rubber, and I think they're trying to correct that tonight.
Yeah, I have the game on my screen. Actually, Binnington is looking a little bit better today, to be honest. He has to start to play better because Flyers got some 2-on-1 odd-man rushes already 3 times in this period. And actually, Binnington is like 2-0-1 against Flyers. So he has pretty good record against Flyers and stats. So that's why he's in the net, I guess, today, actually.
Yeah, some coaches will play a hunch. You're right. I think they wanted to get Binnington in again at some point, but they figured, he has good numbers against the Flyers. Flyers are a struggling team. This is our chance to get him some confidence back. By the way, Ottawa's just taken the lead. They have scored against Minnesota, 3-2 Senators. Timmy Stützle, who has been terrific in this period of absence for Batherson and Norris. He's been definitely someone that stepped up for them, and he's just scored to make it 3-2 Ottawa. And the sweat is on once again for us Minnesota second period puck line. Now we just need to either hold this score or Minnesota tie it would be great, but hold this score. They're still up by a goal here in the second period, which is the main thing. And again, there's not much time left in that second period either. Just 2.5 minutes left until the intermission. Still 1-1 Leafs. And there's another one that's a surprise. We're in a 1-1 stalemate right now. Leafs and Blue Jackets with 4:40 to go in the period, which is no longer. Toronto has just scored to make it 2-1, and it's Austin Matthews on a beautiful backhand deke. Totally.
I literally just took Leafs team total over 2.5 minus 175.
Let's go on a pick, man.
Well done. Well done.
That's like me with St. Louis, Philly.
Wow.
Like you got it in like 5 seconds before the goal happened, if that.
It's all about the timing.
Yep. It is. It's timing. It's timing. It's feel. It's getting the value as well. You got to like blend all of those instances into your live betting acumen. Timing.
Well, some people might call me crazy for taking a minus 175 like that, but if it's Leafs team total 2.5, and what was that before the game? Like minus 400. You know what I mean? So like,
right.
So I don't mind minus 170, 175. What's that price now?
Exactly. Well, you won't even get 2.5 now. I mean, that's gone. That number, that's the thing. Sometimes a number is going to be gone, so you have to play a number. You can't always play a price. Sometimes you have to play a number when betting live. So.
I didn't even, what happened that quickly when I didn't even get a chance to holler it out. I was just waiting for some dead air for a second just to holler it out.
There we go, and it just happened. Yeah, there we go, and it's 2-1. And the thing is, too, that's why it was a good price too, is because if the Leafs score and go up 2-1, even if they go scoreless and late into the third period, which is unlikely, but if it were to happen, Columbus would still have to pull the goalie at some point, you would think, and there you go. And Toronto's going to have a multitude of chances to get a third goal. So I don't think it'll come to that. I think they're probably going to put on maybe another goal or two here. They are playing much better defense. Like, it doesn't even resemble the team I saw defensively last night. They are doing a lot better job at that end of the ice so far tonight against Columbus.
Steven asks, why didn't you tell us? I just told you, because it happened like 20 seconds after I bet it.
Like, he was just getting the words out, and Matthews was just finishing off that deke and scoring as he was saying it. So there you go. Lyubushkin's made a difference. He's going to put someone on their keister. He's going to be pretty sound in front of the net. He's going to clear the front of the net. He's going to make it easier for his goaltender to see the puck. So there's a lot of things he does. He doesn't have great foot speed. He doesn't have great offensive instincts, all of that stuff. By the way, we're still waiting for this. Yeah.
Flyers on the power play.
Flyers on the power
There we
play.
go.
Alex and I jumped on that second period over.
Yeah.
Basically, there to be a goal in the second period at plus 110. And now we're down to the last minute 30. We actually need probably a Flyer goal for that to happen. But they do have a power play with a minute 30 to go here in the second period of this game.
I thought you were saying Flyers scored.
No. Power play.
Come on, Vito.
Still, it's an update. It's
I know, I'm just
a
joking.
potential for scoring.
You know, I'm just joking.
And that's the second power play.
When you need a goal, you need a goal in Flyers game, right?
Yeah,
right. Just like a goal from anybody, and that's the second power play since we made that bet of the half goal over. So
I'm on the Blues in regulation, so I want a shorthanded goal now.
So I can't cheer if the Flyers score. Okay, Vito, I need 4 goals from the Blues then, man.
All right. Cash the Minnesota puck line, second period. It is 3-2 Ottawa after 2 periods. So it ends up being a 2-1 second period victory for the Minnesota Wild. So there you go. Minnesota puck line plus 100. Second period puck line cashes.
Yeah, good play.
Glad I tailed you on that, Ian.
I saw you. Great play, I would say. Nice, very nice bet.
Gosh, John Tavares can't put a puck in the ocean. He had all the time in the world. He shoots it right at the pad there of Berube on that chance he just had. My gosh, you talk about a guy that's lacking confidence.
Hey, Ian, don't worry, man. He's a great leader.
Well,
that's what they'll tell you on social media.
That's what
he makes $11 million.
He's not even a great leader. Mr. Mumbles when he talks. He's Mr. Monotone. My goodness, like Jesus, that's a great leader. Someone with that kind of voice. Yeah.
He kind of cooled off, yeah.
6 goals, 25 games. -10. Tell me they couldn't get a defenseman, Vito, instead of him right now.
-10?
Yeah, -10.
All season long?
No, in the last 25 games.
All right. Okay. Yeah, still. Well, there's no now Mazin is out. They don't have really D-man. Who they have? Some new Russian, this guy, or who is this guy?
Yeah, Labushkin. Man, that would have been horrible. That would have been a horrid goal for Berube to give up. Basically, there was a soft little shot that was just coming in, and it almost squeaked through him, right through the 5-hole, but he just closed the wickets in time. This guy is there.
My hat to Panthers bettors and Predators over bettors. Congratulations to you guys.
Yeah.
Because that was the over of the night, clearly.
Yeah, Nashville, Florida, 3-3 with still 5 minutes to go. Nashville, if I'm not mistaken, now over the total in every games for them since the All-Star break. So it's kind of with them right now. They're scoring, but their defense and their goaltending. And, of course, with David Riddick tonight in net, a late late announcement that he was going to start tonight for the Predators instead of Saros. Even though Saros has struggled lately, look, David Riddick is not really an upgrade from a struggling Saros. He's just not.
Speaking of which, in that game, Ian, I discussed it on the show, but I didn't even bet it myself. Ekblad, 5 shots on goal, 2 periods.
Wow, there you go. And unfortunately, we get out of the second period without a goal for the Flyers. So there you go. Falls short and 1-0 still St. Louis after the second period. By the way, if you want the in-game total now on that one, never mind 5.5, never mind 4.5. You can get 3.5 now, plus 150.
Yeah.
That's the worst part of live betting is like,
yeah,
I sat down with you guys. Yeah, I'm on 4.5. And then now it's like, oh, I could have waited.
Right.
I'm going to jump in on this 3.5. I'm like, what the hell? I'm already in on 5.5 and 4.5. I'm going to take 3.5 too. What the hell? I mean, if I lose all 3, so be it. But
I'm on 6 and 4.5. Do I dare make it a hat trick?
I'm gonna. But it's a value play though. It's 3.5. It's the Flyers got to try to take some chances now. They're down 1. It's nice to play tight and help out Jones when they're first period, second period when you're down a goal, third period when you're down a goal. You've got to be in the offensive zone and you got to pinch the defenseman down to keep plays alive, keep pucks alive. So, and that's going to leave them vulnerable for the rush chances, and that's where they're absolutely brutal. They cannot sort coverage out for rush chances. That's been a bad thing for the Flyers all year. By the way, we have a penalty, it looks like, here coming up to the Leafs. Columbus power play late in the second period. There's only about 10 seconds left in this second period. Nashville on the power play against Florida as well in this 3-3 tie. It's amazing how they have tilted the ice here, really, ever since they've tied this game. Florida's kind of reeling a little bit. They've been on their heels a little bit. Nashville's been in the Florida zone quite a bit. That's really been that way ever since they got those 2 goals in quick succession to tie the game at 3. So Nashville, a very, very game effort from them tonight against the Florida Panthers. I wish they had shown me a little more of that in the first period, but nevertheless, they're showing it now, definitely being down 3-1. So we got 3 of the games at intermission, 3 of the early games. The only one still playing right now is Nashville, Florida, with 3 minutes to go in the second period, and that game again tied at 3 in that one. So Nashville's playing like that proverbial cornered animal, if you will, desperate team. They're trying to get back on track, and the game has been even right now. There's no question. In fact, the Predators at this point in time, it's basically playing the Panthers even. Expected goals are near even, both periods. So it's been a solid road effort against obviously a terrific Florida team that's been a powerhouse now for the last several games.
Okay, all right, guys, I'm gonna leave.
Okay.
It's already late
I
here.
can tell you're a little tired tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I always go about this time. I go off. I watch the third period and I go to sleep.
There you go. It's late for Vito. Oh, Jesus. What? It's 3 a.m. there?
I'm gonna get 4 now soon.
Almost 4 a.m.
Wow.
That's 7-hour difference.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna watch anyways these games till then. So best of luck. I'm gonna join perhaps from the YouTube. No,
All right.
awesome.
Good stuff, Vito.
All
Thanks
right.
again
Have
for
a good
joining
night,
us.
man.
Have a
See you,
good
buddy.
night. There he is, Vito in Latvia, 3:40 a.m., and there he is. I can tell he was feeling a little tired tonight. You can just tell he's laid back with the bucket hat on. He's feeling a little
That's commitment,
fatigued
though,
tonight.
man.
No,
That's
for
commitment.
sure.
Florida power
Occupancy.
play.
How are things with you? Is there anything you're interested in maybe looking at for live betting there?
You know, the Blues puck line, I'm still
You're sticking with that.
interested
Yeah,
in.
it's still there for the taking. They're only, they just need one more to stretch that margin to 2.
I was thinking about Blues team total over 2.5 plus 100 because
Yep.
maybe if I don't end up, it's kind of like a hedge to my totals. Because if I don't hit my live totals, then maybe I can still hit that 2.5 team total. You know,
Yep.
if they end up winning that game 3-1, then I'll lose all my totals, but I could hit that live bet.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I like it. I think that I'm going to maybe even wait to see if I get a plus 110 or 20 in the first couple minutes there of the third period, but I'm going to jump in on that. And I'm already on the over 3.5 plus 150. I'm going down with the ship in this St. Louis Philly game. You know, someone that's got 5.5 and someone that's got 4.5 already. We're jumping in on the 3.5 too. What the hell? You know, that's why we've, and that's why it's a betcast money.
Yeah, I mean, most third periods will see more than 0 goals,
Yeah.
right? So if you're going to get to 3, you know, you're probably going to get to 4. It's just if you're going to get to 3, I think, is the, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no
I get
doubt.
that. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I think the team total way of going about it with the Blues makes sense at 2.5 because all they need is that one. All they need is to get this to 2, and then the Flyers pull the goalie, and there's their chance to get to 3. You know, late in the game. So the 2.5 is a good situation here. And the Blues with the Flyers having to press a little bit more down by 1. These are the kind of things. It's basically you're betting the situation of the game too. You know, you're talking about a bad defensive team, the Philadelphia Flyers, that's tried their best to try to protect Jones as much as possible. You can't do it now in the third period down by 1. You've got to try to press the issue and play in the offensive zone. And how do you do that? You're going to have to try to, you know, pinch at the blue line from time to time to keep the play in the offensive zone. And at times when you're not going to end up, you know, keeping the puck in, you're going to leave yourself vulnerable at the other end for a rush chance. And Flyers are not good at sorting that out. So there's your opportunities for the Blues to get 1 or at least, if not 2 goals here in the third. So the team total is a good option if you don't like the over 3.5 necessarily. All right, I think we've got just Florida. Florida's on the power play, by the way, right under 2 minutes left in the second period, and they're on the power play right now for another 30 seconds. So we'll see if they can find a go-ahead goal here in this one. But like I said, if you look at all the numbers in that game, this has been a good effort so far tonight from the Nashville Predators. They've been in the game. They've had the better of the play. And the Jackets and the Leafs are dead even as well, pretty much through 2 periods. The Leafs definitely had a better second period, but Columbus had the better first period. So right now you've got a game that's, Columbus was better in the first, Toronto was better in the second. So pretty much even for the entire game right now. So that's where we're at in that Leafs versus Blue Jackets game. As far as Minnesota and Ottawa is concerned, again, the Senators leading that game 3-2. The pesky Sens at it again. The Wild have actually had the slight edge in play. The Wild have had definitely the edge in play in the second period, but still they give up one goal in that period, Minnesota. And Cam Talbot, he hasn't been horrible during this last month, but he's not been his best either. And we've seen him maybe not playing as well as he was early in the year, kind of like what Jack Campbell was going through for a bit, where he's just, not playing as well as he did early in the season. I think that's kind of what we're seeing with Talbot at the moment for Minnesota.
The Talbot, spring is his season. I mean, I don't think I've been watching as long, at least the non-market teams for the tri-state area. But I was watching every game last season, and I just remember some of the Knights Wild games from last spring. Talbot stood on his head, seriously. I've had some of the best goaltending I've seen, I think.
You guys ever bet the draw no bet? It's kind of like a soccer bet. I see that with.
I bet that sometimes.
Yeah, I see that. There's only certain websites that will offer that, but I saw it at -130. Oh geez, I just clicked it and it wouldn't let me do it. But with the Wild, because if that game goes to OT, you win. You don't even have to win in overtime. You just win if they either win or it goes to overtime, which is kind of interesting because it's kind of like I was saying earlier on the show today. I really think that a lot of bettors try and get that big cash all the time. But I just want to win. I don't care about the plus 200, 300, whatever. I'll take the -130 over the live money line is certainly tempting, but if I can get a double chance on them to even just force OT, that seems like a pretty good option too.
Right.
Yeah, you'll take that option exactly when it's offered to you, and it can definitely be something to take advantage of.
So wait, Andrew, you said it's a double chance bet live, or is it draw no bet? Because I'm looking at draw no bet for the Wild right now, plus 230.
Double chance. Sorry.
Okay, all right. So
sorry.
Right, okay.
Did I say draw no bet? My bad.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
But yeah, so double chance, either draw or Wild winning. You'd be laying a price. Yeah, that's solid.
My bad.
Yeah.
That'd be funny if it was a -130 for draw no bet.
Yeah. Yeah. Oops. That would be an issue. Yeah. That would be an issue. We just got to the second intermission with the one game that was still waiting to see the second period conclude, and that was Nashville, Florida. So they are now at the second intermission, 3-3. Predators and Panthers. Clearly been the best game of this slate. I think Nashville, Florida. Minnesota, Ottawa has been pretty solid too. Leafs and Jackets, Blues and Flyers, maybe not as lower event game than a lot of us expected, obviously, with the Blues and the Flyers, but still at least a close competitive game that's there for the taking, believe it or not, still for the Flyers. It's the one thing about the Flyers. They're losing left and right still, but they haven't been blown out as much, during this rough run. They've been in a lot of games. They just can't find a way to close it out and find a way to win. All right, guys, I'm going to be stepping away just for about 5-10 minutes. I'll be back for the third periods. Okay. See you soon.
I just live bet Wild money line plus 170. I'm doing it.
That's what we were all waiting for. I was going to ask you, Terry, do you still bet AHL ever?
No, I kind of stopped because things have been going pretty bad with AHL, so I kind of put the halt on that. Yeah. Well, the Marlies dominated Belleville, and then so I kind of went big on the Marlies the other day, and then they ended up losing that one. But all the numbers pointed to the Marlies, but they lost. So kind of trying to stay away from AHL right now.
Yeah, a lot of leagues to follow.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how some people, like, I see some people on Twitter that do like NHL and KHL. It's like,
I dabbled in the KHL, but it didn't go well. So I thought I'd try it, but
the totals in the KHL are kind of nice, like because of how defensive they play. Some teams.
yeah. And the ice is bigger, and for them, it makes some people think bigger ice leads to more goals, but bigger ice could also lead to, it's a lot harder to get up and down the ice.
Yeah.
Where are you from, man?
Originally Long Island.
Long Island, cool.
I grew up playing travel hockey out there, high school hockey.
Cool, man.
Yeah, now I'm out on the West Coast.
Sweet. It's actually so cool. One of my favorite things about this type of stuff is just like meeting people from all over, That's why I love traveling so much. Like, I'm going out to Vegas for the first weekend of March Madness, and just like, you just meet people from like all over America and Canada and different everywhere, really. We've got somebody coming that's Alex, Tokyo Brandon. He's from North America, but he lives in Tokyo. We've got him coming from Tokyo for the March Madness.
Madness. Nice.
Yeah, it's just cool, man. Like, just seeing so many different people like go to one place.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun, especially with everything open now. This will be kind of the first big event that will, obviously the All-Star game and everything.
Mask mandate.
Right, but this will be the first big kind of thing since the Super Bowl out there. That's big betting frenzy. So I'm sure you guys got everything reserved. Where are you going to be?
I'm not staying there, but I'm gonna be mostly chilling with like Carm and Kelly and them at Westgate.
Oh, okay, all right, cool. So so they'll have like a VIP like area set up and whatnot.
Yeah, they got a lounge.
Yeah, okay. Because I know places like, honestly, man, like Stadium Swim's probably booked already for March Madness at this point.
Yeah, I'm going there Saturday. I told my friends, they didn't really understand, I think, how sick it is. Like, I've only been there once, and like, I think I told you there was only like 3 people there because it was December. But the first, I told my buddies, I was like, you guys have to understand that like we're going the first week of March Madness. Like, if we went any other time, like, this stuff isn't this pricey. But my buddy was like, you seriously want me to pay $100 US for like a pool? I'm like, dude, this is going to be like the craziest party.
That's a great deal. Actually, I thought it would be more than that.
Yeah. Like, but like, it's actually crazy. Like, those day beds, Alex, like, they're like usually like, so it's just like anything, like these type of stuff. Like, it's based on the time of year and what's going on. They change the prices, right? So like, I checked like just as a joke, like the other day to see like, okay, like what would it be tomorrow for a day bed? And it's like 6 people, like $250. And then for the weekend we're there, $1,500.
Yep.
For the same bed.
That works. Yeah.
For the same chairs. It's nuts. But yeah. But it's gonna be a good time. Look forward to it. The thing is with my buddies, like they all love to bet on sports and stuff like me and stuff, but like they keep on telling me, it's kind of like when I was there with my girlfriend, even like they're just like, well, like you're probably gonna come back here like more than we are, so we actually want to like be tourists and not just like bet on sports like we can do at home. And I just want to, like, that's like when I went there with my girlfriend, like I just wanted to chill in the book half the day, and they're like, she's like, well, we just flew like across the country. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my buddy keeps talking about going to like do this or go to this restaurant and check out this place, and I'm like, yeah, we could do that, I guess.
And that's the thing about planning a trip to Vegas. You got to give yourself 4 or 5 days, because you're gonna want to have a day where you want to stay in the book all day. You're gonna want to have a day where you want to venture out, and then if you're traveling with other people, they want to kind of see things too. Me and my girl were talking about going out to Vegas during the summer, which I'm like, okay, that's fine, because I don't bet baseball and different things, so I might maybe go in the book and maybe bet on something, maybe be there for a UFC event or something like that. But other than that, just kind of being more of a tourist. Where if I were to go in October, I'd have to a Saturday in October, I'm at the book all day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wild third period just started.
Okay. Yeah, I actually took a small piece of draw no bet for the Wild plus 230. I think they at least force OT. They go to overtime, I get my money back, and if they find a way to get 2 and win it, then that's a nice cash.
So I bet the double chance, wild or draw, minus 130.
Yeah, that's a good price.
I've got this parlay I made earlier, but it's shot now because I had Chelsea and soccer earlier, which won. Leafs, Wild, and then Blues game over 6, but that's kind of screwed me now.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's Blues Flyers. This is interesting to see that there's only 1 goal in that game. I wouldn't, and I had the first period over earlier today, so that streak of 12 straight first period overs ends with St. Louis now. So
damn, I didn't even know that. Oh man, yeah. you actually just reminded me. I got to get in that team total I was talking about. I didn't even get it in.
Yeah. Is it up yet? Yeah. I know they were locked for a minute. Yeah, it's still locked on that.
Yeah, same.
Flyers third period over is 11-0 in the last 11 games.
Okay.
The Flyers third period over, so hopefully we get some goals here.
Let's see, everything's locked, so it's probably just about to start now. Someone in the chat got wild double chance minus $1.05. So that's even better.
Nice.
Oh, MDR.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went wild money line plus 170.
Okay.
And then if we don't tie it, a few minutes before, probably around 4 minutes to go, I'll sprinkle again.
Yeah, see, I don't have a double chance option live, so like I said, I took draw no bet, and if the Wild can tie it, I'll probably sprinkle a little bit on no more goals in regulation. So that'll be my insurance for if it goes into overtime. I cash that.
It kind of sucks. I want to toss on the games. I have NHL. I just have the different apps. It's kind of like the equivalent, like ESPN Plus, like Sportsnet, and like I don't even have cable. I just buy all the sports stuff,
right.
Like NBA League and NFL stuff. But I know you guys are going to one of you guys are going to see it before me or the chat room. So I was literally thinking before I joined and sat down here, I was like, I know I'm not even going to be able to watch the games because it's always like Vito got the notifications like this absolute second that someone scored. So if you aren't at the game, then someone else is going to see it before you.
If the Wild game goes suspended, you'll see me I throw my earbuds down and I turn away so that I can't see your guys' reaction, but so I can watch it. But yeah.
I was looking at a thing in relation to the Super Bowl recently. They showed the different streaming apps and the time difference between live game action and what you're seeing on the apps. It's pretty bad. We're seeing some incredible gaps, like almost 30 to 45 seconds. So that makes it really tough when you're trying to live bet when you're seeing things like that.
Yeah, I remember being at Ottawa Senators game with a friend of mine, and he's doesn't really bet that much, and he had his Bet365 app out. He's like, all right, the second someone scores, I'm going to bet on them. And I was like, dude, they have something set up in place that they have somebody the second that goal horn goes off. He's like, no, I'll be able to bet them to score a goal right away. And the second that Pittsburgh scored, he tried to bet it, and he's like, oh, it froze. I was like, what did you think? Do you think everybody at the game could just get rich by doing that?
I mean, if you're able to catch someone asleep at the wheel with an event, and I'm sure you look at all the different things you can bet live. I bet you there's got to be something that
someone told me UFC is the best for that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You could message somebody at home and be like, "Hey, this guy's beating the shit out of this guy," and you're not going to see it for another minute. Yeah,
that's definitely something. I haven't bet a whole lot of UFC live. Usually, I make my UFC bets well in advance of a fight night. But yeah, I've definitely known some people who've cashed in and been able to grab some really good adjusted prices live. Just kind of knowing the judges, and that's boxing live is another one too. If you can kind of know the tendencies of a judge, you can kind of or see a fighter wearing down, then you can kind of jump on a knockout prop or something like that.
Yeah. Did you watch that Tuivasa fight, Alex?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was stunned. I had Lewis
parlay on the under. I needed the under, and I wasn't looking good, and then he just went to sleep.
Yeah.
Stunning turnaround. I remember that because Lewis had him rocked, and just all of a sudden, bam, Tuivasa one shot, and it's out.
Well, that's the thing with that fight. I remember saying as soon as they announced it, I'm like, this fight pretty much is just going to be whoever gets the knockout punch first. Those guys don't do anything but throw hands. So.
Yeah, and that's what they were definitely doing. They were throwing some serious lumber. Jackets have just scored a shorty.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. Short-handed goal Columbus. We're tied at 2.
All right.
Oh, my goodness. I want to cheer against the Leafs so bad.
And I'm on the Blues over 2.5, and I just took Minnesota and draw as well. And I heard Andrew mentioning that in the background at plus 100 with that. Blues team total over 2.5. We've got Nashville, Florida, 3-3. I haven't bet anything yet for that. And I'm hoping for this 5.5 now for Toronto Columbus, which is looking a lot better now as well with this early goal, which just tied it up. And now the Leafs are going to have to come press forward a little bit more and end up trying to take the lead again because now it's tied up.
Let's go.
Wild have scored. Yep.
Let's go.
3-3.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Come on.
There you go. That's a great job. I got to tip the cap to Andrew because I heard Andrew in the background saying Wild in the draw. And I know that I have multiple books that can give me Wild in the draw. It made some sense because then it protects yourself. If this game goes to overtime and they lose or an overtime or a shootout, you still get your money. Or you can go for the big payday like I'm sure Terry did. You did,
Terry
right?
did,
Terry?
yeah.
I didn't. You did?
Sorry,
You know he did, Ian.
You
know he did.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Not draw, and you didn't do the draw. You did the actual money line,
Plus
right?
170.
Of course. Yeah.
Right. So Terry has live plus 170 on live money line.
Yeah.
I have draw no bet plus 230, and now I'm gonna play no more goals in regulation, and then Andrew has double chance.
Yeah.
Minus $1.30.
So there we go. We have ourselves a tie game with the Wild and the Senators, 3-3. We got ourselves a tie game with the Predators and the Panthers, and we have ourselves a tie game with the Leafs and the Jackets. So you talk about some exciting finishes coming down the pike. We're going to see some here for sure down the stretch. Great stuff.
And, of course, the only game I had a pregame overbet on is the 1-0 game. But, hey, we're making money in game. And I just need that parlay to hit, honestly, the Minnesota-Florida parlay, and I'll be fine. So I've been pretty good with those two-teamers, but they make you sweat. But I'm just happy I didn't lay any big prices on it.
Yeah, they definitely do. Ottawa's going on the power play right now in this game, 3-3, Wild and Senators. So big penalty kill coming up for Minnesota. They've got some momentum, but now 3-3 having to kill another penalty.
I haven't watched much of that game. Have they been just that undisciplined, Ian, or Ottawa?
Yeah,
or
a lot of penalties. They've been in the box quite a bit. Minnesota tonight. It's.
Oh, it's a Senators penalty. Oh no, Senators power play. Okay.
A Senators power play. Yeah. So I've got my eye on that game right now. Definitely. So here it is, power play Ottawa, 14:21 to go. All right, this is where Talbot's got to step up. Talbot's been sort of up and down and inconsistent lately. You got to get a big save here now with a 3-3 tie. Your team just tied it for you. Power play now for Ottawa. Come up with a big penalty kill, and your goaltender's got to be a big part of that.
Yeah, so now that no goals in regulation, I didn't put that in yet because it was still locked, but I'm probably going to stay away from that now because of the power play chance. It's awfully early and might if no score probably in the next 3-4 minutes, then I might grab it and get a plus 150. I'd rather have some kind of plus price with it, but not risk losing it right away. So.
Yeah,
I'm going to look at a third period over in the Blues Flyers. I'm just gonna, I'm bound and determined to cash one of these overs in that damn Blues Flyers game. So I'm gonna finally, when it gets to plus 100 or better, I'm gonna take that over 1.5 third period with St. Louis and Philly. So I've got that on the radar. What the hell? I'm gonna lose 5.5. I'm gonna probably lose 4.5, 3.5. Like let's take the over 1.5 plus 100 here. Let's go.
Wait, aren't you on the team total with me?
And the Blues team total, which I already bet. Yes, over 2.5 plus 110.
Oh my God, they had a 3-on-1 in.
Yep.
Blues.
Yep. Yeah, great chance, and they've had a couple chances. They've missed the net a lot tonight, the Blues. Holy shit. I mean, they've had so many they've had some good chances. They've had some good zone time, and they got to work on their shooting accuracy a little bit before the next game. It's been off tonight for St. Louis. DX Filer, there we go. Welcome in. Good to see you in the chat for sure. We appreciate it.
I completely forgot on that. I need Ryan O'Reilly to get a point too, and of course the game that's 1-0. I need someone to get a point for me.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Yeah, you just got to get going here. Yeah.
Wow, someone just blocked a shot for Philadelphia, and they're in pain. They just took one.
They've done a good job. They've really blocked a lot more. They're doing everything they can. They're selling out to protect Martin
14
Jones.
block shots for Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's selling out to protect Martin Jones right now because they know this guy's, just complete, putty in the net. Just crumbles. And they got to help him out every which way they can. They're doing a good, better defensive game tonight from the Flyers in terms of helping out the goalie, no question. So we've got a bunch of games that are really right there, and minus 190 on the Blues. You know what? If you want to wait that out. You're gonna lay minus 190 if you want. Keep in mind that if it stays 1-0, Flyers are going to pull the goalie, and there's your chance for St. Louis to score a second goal. But I'd want better than minus 190. I think with that price before getting involved with it. Looks like we've got some pushing and shoving here in the Leaf game as tempers flare. 2-2. It's anybody's game right now. Yeah, Cheshire Cat said on our show today, I don't bet on the Blues anymore, and he made a wise decision maybe tonight, not getting involved too much in that game with St. Louis and Philly.
I mean, the marquee bet of the night with that game was that first period over, that trend that like I said, it was 12 in a row going into tonight. So
yep.
I just saw a replay of that 3-on-1 I was talking about, and that was one of those ones where Luke Shen should have just shot it. So I swear to God, guys, sometimes 2-on-1s are better than 3-on-1s. They try and be too cute. They try and be too fancy.
Yep.
3-on-1s.
Oh, yeah. That's what was hurting the Wild early in that game in the first period. Their passing was just off.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. And even in parts of the second, if you're not passing the puck well, and that's the thing, you get too cute, get too kind of confident, and you make too many passes. I talk about it all the time with the power play.
My buddies are huge soccer fans, and they always tell me when the Chilean games always go under because they refuse to just shoot the ball. They'll have a tap in and I'd be like, no, I'll just pass it over. I swear to God, if you're ever betting soccer and you see Chile, just bet the under because they could have an empty net and decide to set somebody else up.
Right.
You're right about that. Yeah. I mean,
you can be too selfless sometimes, and we see that in hockey, and I guess soccer would probably be even more so because, like I said, you're really trying to set up a shot. You don't just see, fast breaks for a shot on net in soccer like you would in hockey. So,
yeah.
I used to have people even at the Y, when I was playing hoops, just tell me hey man, I know you you're you like to move the ball around, you're a good passer and stuff, but you're actually hurting the team if you pass up an open jumper.
Right.
You're
yeah. That's usually, if you look at the league, I would say if you look, obviously you have your top 5 power plays, but usually the middle 10 of the league in power plays, it's usually an issue of them either not making clean enough passes or making too many passes.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you get to the bottom of the league, it's usually they're not, just not even shooting the puck well, or the quality of shot chances you're seeing. So that's kind of the breakdown of that, kind of, if you're looking at tiers of how power plays work or why they're working the way they are.
I don't really understand why the Leafs are looking for anybody but a defenseman at the deadline. They don't need scoring. In the playoffs, they don't need more scoring. Sure, they need toughness, but get a defenseman.
Right.
Well, they're going to
Or-
hope
or-
Labushkin's one of their answers that they just got. But he's going to be a good defensive player, which they need actually more of. Someone to just clear the front of the net. That's been an issue for Toronto lately. A lot of the goals they've given up have been goals where they have allowed a second and a third chance in front of the net. Nobody's been cleared. The puck hasn't been cleared. You haven't taken out a forward in front of the net, and it allows the other team to have those multiple opportunities. And that's where they've had some real issues defensively lately, and they're hoping Labushkin's one of the guys that can fix that. Plus, I think they might be muzzing
Kevin
out
Fiala has seven shots on
7
goal.
shots, yeah. And he'd been
Sam's-
struggling to go over his shots on goal prop the last few games before tonight. And tonight he's exploded for 7. How about that?
I need one more from Kaprizov for a 2-0 shot prop night.
All right,
10
there we
minutes to
go.
Yeah,
Still got
Sam in the
plenty of
chat
time to
says
get it.
hit the like, everyone, for good luck.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone smash like button for some good luck.
Yep. We've got tie games galore right now. We've got it on this Tuesday night. We got 3 games deadlocked, at 2 goals or in a tie right now. The Leafs, Jackets, Predators, Panthers, Wild, Senators all tied up right now. And the other game, the Blues and Flyers, is a 1-goal game. Flyers are just hanging around, giving themselves a chance here.
All right, here we go. I got no goal for the next goal regulation plus 150 with Wild Senators. So that goes OT. We cash that, and if the Wild can score and win in regulation, we have a play on that as well.
And that's a good point with the Wild too. It's not like you're playing outside the conference, so you're not as concerned about Ottawa getting a point in this game. Those are situations you got to look for.
Yep, this time of year.
Yep. The draws where you're just not, like if this is Minnesota playing Colorado or St. Louis or someone else, obviously maybe you'd like to win in regulation a little bit more. This type of situation tonight against Ottawa, not so much.
Yeah.
Because you don't give 2 shits if Ottawa's going to get a point or 2 out of this game.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas
I'm going to jump in here, guys, on over 5.5 in the Leafs game.
All right, good stuff. I've got the plus. What did I get on that long time ago? Minus 120 is what I got on that after the first period.
And I have that at plus. No, I got minus $1.20 as well. So.
Yeah, minus 120. I've got the over 5.5. I got it at plus 190. I thought it was such a great price with Blues Flyers over 5.5 plus 190 at the time, but obviously that's going to fall way short.
I don't think it's going to be easy, but I think that I don't think this one just stays the way it is right now.
Flyers scored.
Yes, they have. Yep. Philadelphia
Well, it's
Flyers.
good for the live overs,
tied it.
but not good for our live team total, Ian.
No.
Oh, Columbus on the
And
breakaway.
Columbus scored.
Wow.
Nice.
Jack Campbell not happy with himself. It was
The
right
second that we bet it again. The second I bet it. That's back-to-back times. Let's go.
Yep.
Wow.
3-2
No
Jackets.
joke. It
That
just
is-
finished loading.
That's Brandon Gauntz, I believe. I think he was with Vancouver's organization for a little bit. Now he's here in Columbus. Yep.
Wow.
So just like that, we've got goals within the last 30 seconds. 1 for Philly and 1 for Jack Campbell's going to want that one back because it was just right along the ice. Opened him up and right through the old wickets there for Columbus there. Brendan Gauntz, 4th liner for the Blue Jackets, getting them the 3-2 lead. And that was Labushkin, the guy they just picked up from Arizona, victimized on that goal. His lack of foot speed there a little bit. That's the one thing about him. He's not a great skater. He's more of a lumbering type of defenseman, physical lumbering type, like not Hal Gill slow. Like that was Turtle. That was tortoise speed from Hal Gill back in the day. He's not that slow, Labushkin, but he's not the most fluid skater going. All of a sudden, Toronto ties this up 3-3, and the over 6.5 gets there as well. So I've got 5.5, 6.5. The Leafs tie it up at the 6.5.
Wow. Okay. Here we go. Here come the goals.
Here we go. Blues have just scored.
Wow.
Yep.
Let's go. Yeah, good call, Terry.
2-1 St. Louis. And there's still lots of time left here. There's 11 minutes. We can get I've got 3.5, remember, plus 150. I bet that. I said second intermission. I'm still taking over 3.5. 4.5 is still in play now. Absolutely.
You pretty much have a lightning bet going with this game to the over.
Yep.
If we hit the team total, if I hit that over 2.5 plus that 4.5 ends up hitting,
I forgot he did a 4-gamer. Minnesota team total over 2.5, which is 1. Florida team total over 2.5, which is 1. Columbus team total over 2.5, which is 1. And I just need one more from the Blues to catch that 4-gamer.
Nice.
Yeah, and we got 3-3. It's still 1-goal games or tied. All 4 of these games that are ongoing right now. So Blues with the 2-1 go-ahead goal in that one.
Who assisted on it?
It was Lindblom, by the way, that got the Philadelphia goal that tied it. Lindblom with Sanheim and Konechny with the assists on that goal. Great to see him playing. Not only scoring but just playing. This guy had a cancer scare, obviously, for the Philadelphia Flyers, and it's just great to see him on the ice and obviously contributing for his hockey team. But Blues responded in kind.
Thomas assisted, perfect. Yeah, MDR says, "Hey Terry, right after you said hit the like, I hit it, and bam, goals are coming." I'll take the credit if you're gonna give it to me. But
yeah, and now
smashing
Columbus,
that like button, we'll get more goals.
Yeah, definitely.
Everyone
Columbus buzzing now as well against Toronto, so they've gotten some momentum from that 3-2 goal. Still 3-3 Wild Senators, still 3-3 Predators Panthers. So that's where we stand right now.
Finally getting some value on these next goal props.
Yeah,
these numbers have kind of been just where they posted from the beginning for the first 40 minutes, but now we're seeing Blues minus $1.10. I'm seeing you said Columbus is buzzing; they're plus 175. And I've got a bunch of stuff on the Wild. I've got Wild money line. I got the draw no bet and a no goal in regulation, all at plus money. If I could really kind of maybe even take a shot with Senators to score at plus 450, and that would kind of secure me of everything. The only way I would lose would be a Senators overtime win at that point. So.
Yeah. That's an interesting debate there. You're right, because even the plus 450 doesn't save you from that.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, right. I have Wild money line to win the game minus $1.05. I have Wild draw no bet plus 230, and I have plus 150 on no goal for the rest of regulation.
Yep.
So the only thing right now that would beat me would be a Senators goal in regulation. So I can cover that with plus 450. I can play that. Even a super small bet covers me somewhere. Now it's plus 500. So so I'll put something in on that.
Wow, Leafs are actually having the better of the play in the third period. Expected goals, high danger chances, all of that, but the only goal for Columbus. Sometimes that's the way it goes.
Yeah, so Philly's team third period over is 12-0 now.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Wow,
that's another third period over in a Flyer game. And I was almost going to get in on the over 1.5, but it just didn't drop low enough for me. And then finally, Philly scored, and it ended up tying that game. Yeah, McCann to score a goal would be the only thing I'd look at from Seattle. These aren't the most glamorous late games. San Jose Anaheim's kind of intriguing, though. That's not a bad game. It's not a great game. It's not a bad game. Right. Islanders Kraken. There's nothing that can make me get into that game. There's just not. I mean, it's an ugly late game. There's no question. Islanders and a Kraken, and
we'll just have something with Florida, Nashville.
Yeah,
with the
something happened in a Wild game.
All right, I got to make sure I've got the stream on here. Let's see what we've got. Senators have scored.
Damn, so there we go. So now, so I just cashed that. Gosh, but I'm kind of up against it with
4-3 Ottawa, man, and Florida's just scored as well against Nashville. So Florida has taken the lead 4-3 over the Nashville Predators. So goals for Ottawa and Florida in a little bit of a 2-minute span right here to take the lead. So all of a sudden we go from maybe 3 games with overtime possibility, and now there's no tie games right now, at least at the moment.
So I actually kind of covered myself there, because now I just won more with Senator scoring than it essentially would have for the 3 plays I have with the Wild right now. So
yeah,
nice.
Let's see what's going on here with the Nashville, Florida. Let's see. There might be a challenge here. Riddick was right up, looking around and waving his stick in his arms for maybe a challenge here for goalie interference.
That's rough,
He
man.
reached out.
Come on,
That's not
Minnesota.
goalie interference. There's no way. I mean, the puck was never frozen. The puck was free. It was there to be played by Florida. There's just no way that's goalie interference, in my opinion. That's just a good job by Sam Bennett, poking it in there. I don't think there's anything there for goalie interference.
Yeah, Alex, I like that.
This is John Hines is a fucking idiot, man. I mean, I don't know how this guy got the job anyway. Like, I'll actually give him some credit. They played a little better this year, but I don't think it's because of him.
No,
I don't think he's that good, to be quite honest with you. And I don't know. I can't believe he's challenging this. He's reaching for. Is that puck free? Now he had. This is. See, to me, Riddick doesn't ever have that puck frozen solid underneath him. Or did he? He didn't even have it frozen long enough there.
I can't believe I took the only pregame over. That's not going to hit.
Just
I know every game's a shootout here. Well, actually, Toronto Columbus could still stay under. So, look at that. Oh, rebound! Nashville's tied it.
wow!
Holy mackerel! They've responded and tied the game. Right, just seconds after that goal by the Predators, and Sam Bennett was allowed to stand. It's 4-4.
Just
wow. Bad rebound by Bobrovsky here. He's down like a freaking seal in the friggin' pond or something, flopping around there in the crease. Wow. And that's Luke Cunnin getting the goal for the Nashville Predators on the rebound. Just flipped it in. Bobrovsky was down, and now is Florida going to challenge for goalie interference? Now, that didn't look like a bunch of contact on Bobrovsky there. Oh, they might. All right, we're going to get another look. Oh, because the stick of Cunnin was right in between it was in the old meat and two veg, the giggle stick, the master of ceremonies area there for Bobrovsky in the crotch area. Right there. Just that's where it was. That's exactly where the stick was. It was right in between in the old groin area there. Yeah,
that's great Austin Powers reference.
Yeah, Bobrovsky exactly from that.
I know I probably shouldn't, but wild money line plus 525. I'm going for it. A small sprinkle.
I knew Terry would, just that homer extreme value bet, but they could.
Wild plus 250 to score next goal is still tempting too. They could get another one. I mean, this is a team. They're the comeback kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the goalie gets pulled.
Yeah.
I think they can tie this up, and then whatever happens in overtime happens.
Yeah. We've got referees in the crowd in Florida trying to wave this goal off. Yeah, as you would expect, they're doing the old, no goal. Hell of a hockey game, though. Great effort from the Predators tonight, no question. Yeah. Desperate team, trying to get off the schneid. They know they had to elevate their game, playing a damn good Florida team. They've done that. Now they're hoping they've tied the game. We'll see. All right, so we'll update you. By the way, we got a penalty to St. Louis, a Flyer power play coming up with 5 minutes to go. So Philly going on the power play. 4-3 Ottawa
plus
with
300
minutes to go.
Next goal.
I wouldn't mind a Philadelphia goal because hopefully then
Yeah.
St. Louis can win 3-2, cash the team point in the live bet.
Yep.
That's what I'm doing. I got Flyers next goal, plus 300.
All right, here we go. Decision time. No goal. Yep, the stick in the old groin area, pushing Bobrovsky back. Yep. And it is still 4-3 Florida.
Big call.
Yep. Yeah, 10 p.m. games. I like Anaheim. I'm on Anaheim in the San Jose Anaheim game. That's the only pregame bet I've made in those last 2 games. Is Anaheim just money line, straight money line. I got a minus 145 on it. I just think San Jose's a fade for me. I've bet against them in every game since the All-Star break. Won betting against them in every single game since the All-Star break. I'm just keeping it up, keeping it going.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're in a good spot right now. By the way, Ryan Dzingel will make his Sharks debut tonight. He'll play on the second line with Rudolph Balcers and Logan Couture on the second line. So, and he's bumped Matt Nieto down to the third line, and I like that. That might be the one thing to look at for San Jose if you can find. I don't know if they'd have props posted this quickly on Dzingel. We didn't even know if he was going to be suiting up and in the lineup tonight for the Sharks till later in the day, but. So I don't know if they'd have it posted that quickly for him. I don't think so. I'm looking.
Is there a goal in the Wild game?
Well, wait a minute. I was so focused on the Nashville game for a sec that right now it's 4-3 Sens, 4-3 Panthers. Let me just see here. Hold on one sec. A power play is coming up for Ottawa. No goal, but it is an Ottawa power play coming up against.
Not what I wanted, man. It was frozen on Bet365, so I was hoping.
Yeah, it's frozen here too. Yeah.
Yep. Power play Senators as they try to, and that might extinguish any comeback bid if they score on this. But big kill. There's a must, obviously, penalty kill for the Minnesota Wild. 4-3 with about 3:10 to go in this one. Still 2-1 Blues. Flyers have the power play still for another 50 seconds. See if they can take advantage of that. There's no change in the Leafs and the Jackets. It's still 3-2 Columbus, and time's a ticking on Toronto here. There's only 5 minutes. Great save, Bobrovsky just now on the Nashville Predators, putting up a really big flurry at the moment. We'll see if they can hang on here at the moment. 1:49 to go in that Senator power play here. Shabbat's been good tonight. Goes without saying. You talk about someone that's how big a difference it's been having him back for the Senators tonight. He's made a world of difference for them. Penalty Nashville. We got a Florida power play coming up. They'll look to get some insurance with 10:09 to go. Let's see what Minnesota can do here with this penalty kill opportunity. Got to kill it for sure. Oh, good save there, Talbot, and he's going to cover it up.
Oh, man, I really thought that double chance was a great bet. I'm pissed about that.
It's not over yet. There's still 2:50 to go to kill the penalty.
That's true. Usually I'm Mr. Optimistic, but I appreciate that, Ian. Keep the positive.
I never give up on a bet till the game's over, and I never even when things are looking great with 2 minutes to go, I'm never ever saying, "Yeah, I've won already." It's both.
Oh, I definitely. I'm usually Mr. Optimistic, but I'm just like. I just felt so good about it. I was like, at the very least, it's going to go to overtime now. And then I didn't think Ottawa was going to score like that. But we got a Philadelphia power play here.
We do.
All right, need a goal from them.
And they just killed the penalty. Yeah, and now they just killed the penalty. St. Louis did. So it's back to even strength there. And there's not much time left. 2:24 to go in that one. Nashville shorthanded breakaway. They scored.
Wow.
Jeannot. It was Jeannot.
Tanner Jeannot. Another good call from our guy.
Cheshire Cat's the GOAT. He's got to be Cheshire GOAT. Cat.
My goodness, man. Another great call on your props today on the Ice Guys show from this afternoon. Tanner Jeannot and Trennan. Yakov Trenin, both scoring for Nashville tonight.
Wow, nice.
You know what's funny? I can't speak for you guys, but that might have been the only game we didn't jump in on the live over because it was already so high. But they just kept scoring anyway, so it didn't even matter.
Wow. And now it is 4-4. The goal that was obviously taken off the board for Nashville just a couple minutes ago. They get it right there, 4-4. Yeah, Nashville.
Do we look under 9.5 minus $1.20 in that game? You think there's only going to be one more goal, or it goes OT?
Wow, that's tough with the way these guys are going back and forth here. That's very, very tough. By the way, we're down to a minute to go. We'll keep our eyes on this. We got an empty net now for the Minnesota Wild. Talbot out of the net. And Minnesota putting on a press here,
I pretty much need an empty netter from the Senators that'll break me even, or actually bring me ahead a little bit from the Wild plays.
Yeah. Oh, good pressure here, and the puck I think frozen here, puck frozen under Goligoski here for the Wild. So 52 seconds to go. It'll be a face-off in the Ottawa zone. Wonder if Dean Evison uses his timeout here. We'll see. Get the keep the top troops out on the ice, obviously needing a tying goal here. Yeah, Blues empty net goal. Yep, 3-1. So there you go. St. Louis into the empty net, 3-1. Good for you. Occupancy. I know you've been quiet, but I know you got your Blues puck line. There you go. 3-1 St. Louis, empty net goal. Close shave Barbashev. Ivan Barbashev getting the empty net goal.
Well, at least that team total cash for us, Ian.
Yep. Yeah, we'll take that. And 3.5 at least got there. Finally, at least we'll lose the 5.5 and the 4.5, but at least I had the sense to take the 3.5, and we got that at least at plus 150. So we'll take it. The team total for the Blues over 2.5 cashes in. We'll take that as well. And here we go. Final seconds. Minnesota in front. That shot blocked. Back to the point. Time's running out here for Minnesota. Final seconds here. Shot wide. And that's going to do it.
Wow.
What an effort from the pesky Sens.
What a job by the Sens. What a job by the Ottawa Senators. That's what they can do once in a while. They rise up here. They did this against Carolina, I remember, at home a few weeks ago.
That's a big win, but that's a bad loss for the Wild too right now. I mean, that they you got to beat these teams.
They do, right, and they had scuffled too, right? They had lost a couple in a row. Winnipeg beats them. Florida thumps them Friday night, in Minnesota, that ESPN Plus game, and they did bounce back on the weekend, but they took advantage of Edmonton on 5th game in 7 nights. It was terrible for Edmonton situationally, and they jumped on a team in a brutal spot. This was supposed to be a night you snap the 2-game losing streak. You won, you beat Edmonton, but you're supposed to win tonight too. Undermanned Ottawa team. That's disappointing. I agree. Terry, you got to feel disappointed. This is not what you want to see.
Yeah. I obviously have been on here, so I haven't completely watched the entire game, but Talbot, I don't know. I think
he's going through a little struggle right now, no doubt.
He is.
Yeah. I think he needs to go. Oh, Leafs.
Tied it up. Leafs have tied it.
Wow, nice.
Wow.
Yep.
Leafs the over 5.5.
Columbus. Yep.
There we go.
Jason
Needed that.
Spezza. Although they're maybe reviewing something here. We'll see. The referees are converging. See, I just flipped to that game right after it went in. Let's see what we see. Let's see what would they be looking at here? Oh, high stick maybe. Made contact before the goal went in. And then the Spezza. Well, so first, there's 2 things here. There was a high stick that made contact from Tavares. Is that stick below the crossbar? They're going to have to look at that. And then when the goal actually went off Spezza's skate, and they're going to determine was that a kicking motion.
Right.
So there's 2. And another empty net goal for St. Louis with 2 seconds to go.
There you go.
4-1, so we get the 4.5.
No way. Let's go, Ian. Come on.
Wow. In the final seconds.
Let's go.
Who's on the...
And the Blues team total pregame over 3.5. Yeah.
Nice.
Holy shit.
I was 1 away from a push on that game. Didn't think that would happen. The team total
empty net goal. All right, so what happened here? Oh, he turns his skate. Oh, that's one of those tricky ones. He turns his skate.
But it's not distinct kicking motion.
You don't
he stops it.
Swing the skate back and
no. He just turns and stops it. That's a goal.
Yeah. Wow, there's 2 things they got to review here on this Leaf goal. High stick for Tavares before that chance for Spezza even happened. And then whether he kicked it in or whether he just turned his skate. Good goal. Obviously not a high stick for Tavares and not a kicking motion for Spezza because he just turned his skate. It is a good goal, and the game is tied 3-3.
That means the full game over is going to hit.
Yep.
Or at least push. Or at least if you got 7, it pushes.
You got 7, yes. Thankfully, when did I bet it? Like 10 a.m. this morning, and I could see the thing steaming up once Berube was announced in net. Yeah. Brad Larson's not happy. I think he's looking at the he's either unhappy about the high stick, not called a high stick, or the kicking motion, not called a kicking motion. But Brad Larson's not impressed that goal was allowed to stand. I don't know, Brad. I mean, it's the thing I see a million times, and Alex mentioned it. He didn't swing the skate back and kick it like a soccer kick. Right. It was just turning the skate. It went off the skate and in. Every time I've seen a goal recently in that spot, it's been called a good goal.
And every year you kind of wait and see if they're going to, maybe change that rule to where, you can't stop the skate. But like I said, that or count that stopping the skate and turning it as a kicking motion.
Yeah. Because
in essence, if you're kicking a football, that's exactly what you do. You turn your foot out. So you could, it's up for debate for sure.
Nashville power play.
Do we get D-Gen here with overtime in this Toronto-Columbus game if it goes there, which it looks like it might now with 1:40 to go? Like there's options for a team to win in overtime or a team to win in a shootout or a team to just win, obviously, in overtime or a shootout. You could really get creative when you're talking overtime live betting. Yeah, that's a good question. John Massey, I believe, was with me late night hours the last betcast on a Tuesday night. And he's good question. How is this the first game tonight between the Ducks and the Sharks? Apparently it is. It's their first regular season matchup tonight. And they're in the same division, and it's February the 22nd. Talk about an unbalanced schedule. Holy shit.
Preds. 5-4.
Reds have a power play. Did they score?
Yeah.
They scored. Wow. They just scored. Mm-hmm.
They did. Wow. 5-4 Nashville. I'll flip back. Michael Granlund with the go-ahead goal.
I'm glad I didn't play that under 9.5.
Rebound. Another bad rebound by Bobrovsky there. Holy shit. Oh, yep. Didn't corral the rebound there, Bobrovsky. And, hey, you got to say when Ekblad does something bad, and he did. He didn't take his man out there. Granlund got the body position there on Ekblad in front of the net, put it away, and it's 5-4 Nashville. Panthers are human after all. Boy, they look like they were untouchable here during this stretch that they've had since the All-Star break. The Carolina win in a tough place to win. And Minnesota was about as impressive as it gets, winning in Minnesota. Chicago, they workmanlike, but they did what they had to do. It was efficient. Wow. Duclair basically dubbed the shot and his stick broke on him. And if he had a wide open net, probably would have tied it if the stick doesn't break on him. It's a good thing you stayed off that under 9.5, Alex.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, wow, this one's not over yet by a long shot. So
wow. So 5-4 Nashville, and there's still time though. We know with that Florida offensive machine that they have, they're never out of a game.
Plus 175 for them to tie the game with the next goal.
That's next
plus
goal.
360 for them to win.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I'm going to jump a little on that with their offensive.
Oh, plus 330.
Yep.
Oh, lower a bit.
Plus 360. Yep. There we go. Plus 350 is what it just dropped for some reason to plus 350 when I bet it. So plus 350.
It's plummeting. It's 330 now. So.
Well, I'm trying to get Leaf fans going on Twitter. I just tweeted out, should they switch the Spezza and Tavares contracts? People aren't like
actually more effective this year than. By the way, they are going to overtime, Toronto and Columbus. Wow, this is an interesting one here.
Yeah, I got it plus 360 Panthers money line.
Yeah,
quarter unit, so small bet, but.
So the Leafs have the better talent in overtime. They've been pretty good in overtimes lately. I'm going to take Toronto plus 120 to win in overtime. Okay. And this loses, obviously, if it goes to a shootout, but I'm going to jump on Toronto plus 120 in overtime. There we go. Toronto plus 120 locked in to win in overtime.
How's that plus 120?
Because it's got to be exactly overtime. It can't be regulation. Or, exactly. I'm sorry, it can't be a shootout. Rather,
can't be shootout.
That still seems like way too good of odds. I'll
no,
jump in on
it's
that.
minus 150 money line or minus 160 money line. So that makes sense.
They've got the better forwards up front. Laine is obviously the most dangerous. You got to watch out for him if you're the Leafs defending this 3-on-3 here in overtime. You got to know where Laine is at all times. But the Leafs have a lot more weapons at their disposal, and they have the better goalie tonight by far. Campbell some nights maybe he's neck and neck with the guy at the other end of he's better than JF frickin' Berube. I think we can agree with that. Going into this overtime here. So, and they've been good in overtimes lately. They beat Carolina in an overtime. It's not easy to beat Carolina. That was their last overtime win, I think. They beat Carolina a few weeks ago. So just a good price. Andrew said it. It's a good price for a team that's been good in these overtime situations lately, plus 120 in OT. And again, as Alex said, this bet loses if this game goes to a shootout.
Well, this is just a win-win for me, guys. I just locked it in. So if I win, I make money. And if they lose, I get to make fun of the Leafs. So it's just perfect.
It's a win-win situation. You get some fulfillment out of this one way or another. Exactly.
Just for everybody out there that watches this and watches the Ice Guys every day, I get chirps about the Habs from Leaf fans like probably 8 times a day. So if you think I'm just like a psychopath that just like hates the Leafs, you just got to see what I deal with as well, and then you'll understand. So you guys on like Alex and Ian,
Columbus wins in OT.
Wow,
Patrick Laine.
Wow.
Well done, Sam Palmer. Sam, I am.
Wow.
Isn't he the one that said it in the chat, Laine?
Yeah, he said he called it. Yeah,
just an absolute scorcher. And that's the thing. Columbus won the face-off. They got the first possession of overtime.
Damn.
And there it was. Just a ripper.
They were plus 130 to win, at any point in the actual frame.
Oh, Voracek. Perfect.
4-3 Columbus in OT.
Wow.
And look, Columbus is going to put – with this guy playing like this right now, Patrick Laine, they're going to be able to score some goals and have a chance to win games. There's no doubt.
But can they stop goals? Make some saves and
did enough tonight.
You can't get into a bunch of 4s every night.
No, that's probably the way they have to right now until they get Korpisalo or Merzlikins. They need one of these guys back.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And they're not that great to begin with anyway. Yeah. There we go. 4-3 Columbus. That's just too much time and space for Laine. Holy shit. I mean, you just basically give him it's like Moses parting the Red Sea from the Bible.
Yeah.
That's what that was there defensively for Toronto. Just way too much time for Laine to just walk in and rifle it. Perfect shot. The guy that can snipe like that, you just got to take away time and space. You got to, not let him just walk right in, carte blanche like that, and rip the shot. Like, there's no defensive stopper on him whatsoever there. So that's a tough back-to-back here for Toronto. Montreal, Columbus losses back-to-back. So the Leafs now, this is their first little adversity for a while. Things were rolling along. Things were going great, prior to the All-Star break, first couple games even, but now a little bit of tougher times.
Makes for an interesting game Thursday night. The Wild play them, so see what those two teams that are definitely going to be looking to have better efforts in that next game.
First period over, it sounds like to me. Yeah.
More than likely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm expecting that Talbot's not in net.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I would be shocked and I'm a huge supporter of Dean Evison, but if Talbot's in net on Thursday, I'm going to have some stuff to say about him.
If Talbot's in net, I might sell my car tomorrow and just put all that on the over.
Yeah, basically.
Yep, that just did not last long whatsoever.
No, he's bad. No, he's been bad.
All right, guys. Well, I got a day tomorrow. I won't be on the show tomorrow. I got to unfortunately attend a funeral, but I'll be back on Thursday and Friday. So.
All right, good stuff. By the way, Nashville, Florida, 5-4 with 40 to go. We'll keep you on that. Alex, we wish your friend and his family, obviously, all our best sympathies, and we'll see you again on Thursday.
Okay. All right. Have a good night, you guys.
All right. There he is, Alex B. Smith. And just as Alex signs off, we see that Nashville has put it in the away pretty much this game in the empty net. Bad. Someone passed it back for Florida and was easily intercepted. And then Jeannot just shoots it into the empty net. So Florida Panthers They are human after all. And look, it's not easy to beat Florida, period. It's especially difficult to beat them at home. This is an impressive accomplishment tonight by the Nashville Predators. 6-4 now. Actually, there is still a minute and a half to go, so it's never fully over. But, boy, they got to obviously strike twice in a minute and 30. Might be just asking a bit too much even for this Panthers team. But
so all
well
three
done,
dogs
Nashville.
have won. This is the third dog that's going to win.
Yep, this is one of those nights that, St. Louis is the only favorite that survived.
Now, I'm on the draw on the Sharks and Ducks game, but the Sharks have a really good record in Anaheim. I'm kind of thinking, hey, it's a dog day.
I hope not, because I got Anaheim there. But
yeah.
It's Islanders, Seattle. I'd take Seattle before the Islanders, but I don't want to go against the Islanders either because they got embarrassed by Seattle. That 3-0 loss at home to Seattle was pathetic. Yeah, it really was. It was a dreadful, dreadful performance for sure. So 6-4 Nashville, a minute to go, 55 seconds to go in this. Nashville clearing it down the ice. It'll be icing, but it's okay to ice the puck when you got a 2-goal lead and 47 seconds left like the Predators do. David Riddick, I'll tell you what, gives up 4, but he's going to be the winning goalie when it's all said and done. He just made a save with his head. Took a puck right off the mask there for the Nashville Predators. Yeah, Howie Phelan is right. I mean, this is another great reminder to you. The one thing you'll notice is that when I did place bets on some of these favorites during the course of the night, we were getting even money, or even in something like with Minnesota plus prices, even money minus 120. It still is a lesson that if you're going to be laying minus 200 or minus 250 or minus 300 with some of these teams, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself, as Ice Cube once said. You've got to be careful because you're going to have some problems at this time of year, later in the season. There's going to be spots for underdogs. Look at Montreal the last couple games that they've played. There's a bunch of Nashville tonight. I kind of thought with Florida off the road trip back home, and Nashville was very well rested. They hadn't played since Friday before this game tonight, and that they'd be a desperate team, sense of urgency. Unfortunately, I screwed it up because I didn't bet it properly. I took Nashville only in the first period tonight. I didn't trust them to win the game, and it was only tied after the first period, so I pushed that. I should have maybe had more faith in them in the full game, but that's okay. No harm, no foul. 6-4 is now final. Nashville has beaten Florida 6-4. So well done by the Nashville Predators tonight. Like I say, this is kind of a game that, they really needed to bear down, come together as a group, and play really well against a good Florida team, which coming into tonight was 23-3 was their home record. Unbelievable. And here's Nashville handing only the Florida Panthers only their 4th home loss all year with this 6-4 victory. So well done by the Nashville Predators. And look, their offense came through for them. You got to score goals. You got to be able to find the back of the net. You're going to beat Florida. And they were able to do that tonight for sure. So a good win there. We've got a little bit of time now before these late games start. Islanders, Kraken, and the Sharks and the Ducks. Did you say you were on the draw there, Terry, with Sharks and Ducks?
That's all I have left.
Yep.
If I can get that draw, it'll be a slate winning day. So
all right, there we go.
I
got to tabulate all this shit. I know the Blues Flyers, a couple of those overs hurt, the 5.5, but the fact the 4.5 one was significant. That was massive for me to be able to at least get that. We got the Blues team total over. We got the over 3.5 as well cashed. So it ended up being okay, that game. Nashville, Florida was fine because I had the pregame over. The Nashville first period money line pushed. That's about it. Didn't really do much with that game other than that. Toronto, Columbus, we got the full game over 6.5 from the pregame bet. We got our over 5.5 at minus 120. It was really the 5.5 on the St. Louis Philly was the big one. We got Bunting to score against Toronto. That came in. Credit to Cheshire Cat. As much as it was nice to cash Bunting to score, Cheshire Cat with these 2 calls on the Nashville Predators players to score, Yakov Trenin and Tanner Jeannot at terrific plus prices. that's a salute to Cheshire Cat on our Ice Guys show this afternoon for making those 2 calls. Very well done. All right, so that's a good point, John. I mean, we got 20 minutes. I really only have San Jose Anaheim.
I don't have any picks on these games, so I'm probably going to head out after I finish this glass here. I'll hang with you guys until I finish this.
I think you know what? We're probably not going to stick for the late games for all of them anyway. I'm not planning on it. I mean, this is not the most glamorous late slate.
Yeah.
I mean,
if
2
it was
weeks
like
ago
Vegas
we did.
and Avalanche, then maybe.
Yeah. Like 2 weeks ago we did, but you have to keep in mind 2 weeks ago we had Oilers and Kings. It was a really good late game. It ended up being a really good late game. So we might end up cutting the betcast a little short tonight. Most betcasts on a Tuesday, we're going to try to go right till the end of the late games, but these are 2 late games. Who have we got here?
This is Finnegan.
Finnegan.
There we go. Hi, Finnegan. What's up?
He wanted to come and say hello.
That's
the dogs
good.
are barking, so
Awesome.
so I thought I'd bring him in.
Spuds Finnegan. There we go. Yeah.
What's your dog's name again, Ian? Mally?
Yeah.
Mally. Does she ever chill with you in the office?
Not as much as you would think. Yep. It's more of an independent dog, but very small, kind of that size as Finnegan there. Yeah. But very cute, very adorable, and good company. Good company in the rare instances when I'm not in front of a damn camera doing a show.
Yeah.
Which
lately, like I find that when I'm doing shows, Henry will be like outside the door waiting for me. Like he'll just be like laying down, waiting outside the door. But sometimes it's kind of funny. Like he doesn't freak out if he hears me talking. But if I'm doing a show, like, and we have 4 people on the Ice Guys, and it's been like a few minutes since I've spoken.
Yep.
He barks sometimes to see if I'm still around. Because he's like, when he hears me, he's cool with it. But if he can't hear me, he's like, where'd you go? So like sometimes you probably can't tell because I don't mute on StreamYard. I just mute on my mic because I don't want it to interrupt you guys. But it's kind of funny. He'll just be like, "Are you still there?"
Yeah, you got a nice dog, Andrew, and he's growing quickly.
Yeah,
that's another thing. He is growing very, very fast.
Too quickly, man. I miss when he was a little pup.
Yeah, no question.
But
like I said, I'm sticking to my guns, Sam, with Anaheim in this. That's the only pregame bet I have is Anaheim. I just think Anaheim's, they had a little rough ride with Edmonton and Calgary, but they had a great bounce back against Vancouver. And to me, they're better than San Jose right now. I think Sharks have issues. Although I am kind of tempted by this Ryan Dzingel situation. He's going to make his debut tonight. He's going to be obviously amped up. He's going to play on the second line. He's going to get opportunities to showcase himself. But unfortunately, he's just new to the team. A lot of probably books that post these props probably didn't have any clue he was going to play tonight for the San Jose Sharks. So as a result, you're not exactly going to see any props yet for Dzingel for the San Jose Sharks tonight. That's the only disappointing thing because I'd be interested in maybe him shots on goal or to score a goal even tonight because he's going to get second line minutes. He's motivated. He's trying to revive his career. But you look high and low. Every book, I don't see anything for Ryan Dzingel tonight for San Jose. So it is what it is. Can't take advantage. Occupancy. I mean, the Sharks obviously are in that area. What were you thinking for that game, Sharks and Ducks?
I've been betting against the Sharks for the last few games. I went actually to the Shark Tank to check out some of Jack Eichel and see Thompson in the net. It was just like a last minute thing. I got like a ticket in the bleachers and just went. But no, in this matchup, honestly, Anaheim had a tough time off ASG, and they just came out and the other teams were way more prepared, and they went cold, But tonight, I like them. And especially, in the Honda Center and, trying to get those points because as we've seen in the West, it's a tight race, right? So there's not a lot of wiggle room at this point of the season.
No, there absolutely is right. You know what? I've talked myself into another bet. It's over 1.5 in the first period for San Jose Anaheim. I'm just looking at since the All-Star break. Sharks are playing first periods to the over. Anaheim has played first period to the over every game since the All-Star break, and the San Jose for the most part too. I'm looking at it. For the Vegas game was 2-0 after the first. The Vancouver San Jose game was 2-0 after the first. Edmonton San Jose was 2-0 after the first. I think it could slow down after the first period. So this is definitely a game I prefer first period over. Anaheim with Vancouver was 3-0 after the first. Anaheim against Edmonton was 2-1 after the first. Anaheim against Calgary was 2-0 after the first. So I like that. Anaheim San Jose over 1.5 first period. And I'll stick. You know what I'll do? I'll keep the betcast going until after the first period of these two games that are about to start, and then we'll wrap it up. So right around 11 p.m. or Eastern time, or whenever the first period ends of these two games, Islanders Kraken and Sharks Ducks. I'll stick around for that for the first period, and then we'll wrap it up. Call it a night. These are just two games. I'm not as eager to stick around right till the end of these games with what we've got here. But now I'm going to be betting this first period over. Now I've got something to get a little more excited about. So, yeah, over 1.5 first period for San Jose Anaheim. And that, by the way, is only minus 120.
Any thoughts on first period over in the Islanders? Or sorry, not first period over, Islanders plus 160 puck line first period?
I don't trust Seattle though either. It's good luck.
Yeah, that game was a pass to me as soon as I saw it. It's like I don't want anything to do with this game.
The one thing that situationally works well for the Islanders for a fast start is Seattle just humbled them, earlier this year at home. It was right before the All-Star break. I don't think the Islanders have been more lethargic or pathetic in a game than that game when they hosted Seattle right before the All-Star break, and it ended 3-0 for Seattle. So hopefully that resonates with the Islanders tonight, early in the game, and say, let's be ready to play Seattle this time around. Yeah, Ducks in regulation, DeAndre. That's what I would take. I wouldn't lay now minus a little more than minus 165 even in some spots. I got minus 145 on Anaheim. So if you like Anaheim now, I would take regulation now, which is around even money plus 100. I think that's what you want to go with. Could be a tight game. Like Anaheim's not going to wipe the floor with San Jose probably, but I do expect them to win. I just think if you ask me, who is going to basically stay in the playoff race longer in the Pacific Division, I think that's Anaheim compared to San Jose.
Well, we know what Andrew wants because you have the Ducks miss the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're comparing them. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Andrew would love to see Anaheim rack up as many L's as possible down the stretch, but we're comparing their playoff hopes to San Jose, and that's why I've still got to give the edge to Anaheim because James Reimer's fighting the puck big time right now for the Sharks.
The two futures I'm really cheering on, since obviously my favorite team is not going to be there, would be I have Pittsburgh to win the East, and I have Carolina to win it all. So I'd love to see those teams have good playoffs. I can't believe Carolina got them 14-1 to win the Cup.
I know, and they just and all of a sudden, it's not that right now, obviously, for them to win the Stanley Cup. The current, I'm going to bring it up right now. Carolina's plus 600, plus 650 in most books to win the Stanley Cup now. So yeah,
I think there was like a break when I did that. I can't remember what it was. I think it might have been December. I can't remember exactly when it was, but there was. I do this every year. There's like some type of break. I don't know if it was Christmas break or some type of break that I always, people always ask me like, what are your futures? What are you liking? And I'm just like, I always wait to do futures, a couple months into the season because it's not like you're going to miss out on all the value.
Yeah.
The value is kind of lost for those teams in like February and March, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. Colorado, obviously we'll talk tomorrow's card tomorrow, but I'll just say briefly, with the upsets lately, someone asking ESJ concerned about Colorado, Detroit, and LA, Arizona tomorrow. I'm not concerned about Colorado as much because, look, they were not happy with that Boston game. Not at all. I mean, that's one team. And you talk about Colorado off a loss, that track record. Good luck betting against that. I don't know off the top of my head, but I know it's damn good. the track record off a loss for the Colorado Avalanche this year. It's like Belichick and Brady for all the years in the NFL when they were together. You just did not bet against New England Patriots, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick off a loss. You just did not do it. I did not do it because I knew how strong the trend was of them bouncing back strong off a loss. It's been that same way with Colorado this year. And that wasn't just a loss Monday against Boston. That was a bad loss. They were thoroughly dominated. They were smashed. They were taken apart start to finish pretty much in that game by the Bruins on Monday afternoon. No, that is not I'm stepping in front of Colorado spot for me tomorrow night. Not happening. And I like Detroit. I like their potential to spring upsets every now and then, but I think they're getting an ornery Avalanche group tomorrow night.
Looking at tomorrow's games, should Edmonton be plus 185 in Tampa? I think that's a little bit much.
I'll be tempted. I'll be tempted by Edmonton tomorrow at that price, to be quite honest with you. And that's with all due respect to look. No team is going to play well. No team is going to play well, Terry, against your Minnesota Wild Sunday night in the spot Edmonton was in.
Yeah.
5 games in 7 nights. I mean, that was just a horrible. I can't even believe they put Edmonton in that spot, but they have to because they got so many freaking games to make up for all these teams. That once in a while, there's going to be teams in these horrible scheduling spots having to play 5 games in 7 nights. I mean, no team is going to thrive or be at their best, in that kind of spot. So now they finally had a couple days, off, get, out there to Florida for this game against Tampa. And for Tampa, they haven't played in a week.
Yeah.
So it's been a little bit of time off for them now. How sharp are they going to be, especially early? So, no, I think Edmonton's got a puncher's chance. But we have to see the Edmonton team we saw prior to the Minnesota debacle, not that game. And the debate in my mind with Edmonton is how much of that was the 5 games in 7 nights and how much of that was that was the best team they've played since Jay Woodcroft took over. Because before that, they faced San Jose, they faced Anaheim, they faced LA, although LA is very good right now. But still, they didn't face anyone in Minnesota's caliber. And obviously, they got drilled. But I think the 5 and 7 played a bigger part in that rather than, they were stepping up in class and playing Minnesota. So,
yeah, I think the 5 and 7.
And like I say,
this game.
I'm tempted to take more shots with dogs, Terry, this time of year. That's a dog I got my eye on tomorrow, for sure.
If Montreal was plus money, I would break my I'm not betting Montreal the whole season rule. Sorry, Andrew. But I made that earlier on in the season when they were really bad. I said there's 0 chance. Because I took a couple chances on them. And I said that's it the rest of the season. But if Montreal was, it's minus 110 each way at my book. But if they were plus money, I'd be kind of tempted there tomorrow.
I might still get there with them at minus 110 Montreal. I'm not taking Buffalo. I mean, we're basically, I'm giving you all giving away the material for tomorrow's show. We're not going to have any left. No, but that's okay. It's good. We got a little break. It's nice to actually look at tomorrow's card, just initial gut thoughts. And yeah, I mean, I'm not stepping in front of this Montreal momentum right now. I mean, Marty St. Louis talked about it. You're seeing Caulfield talking about it. He's commanded the room. He's got our respect. We admire the career he had. He's gotten them to dig in a little bit more defensively. Look, their team defense has improved these 3 games that they've won Montreal, and it's making life easier on guys like Sam Montembeault and net for the Montreal Canadiens. And Hamburglar comes in, Andrew Hammond, and plays well against the Islanders. So, yeah, they've got a little thing going right now, and it's not a thing that I'm ready to go against at the moment, this little momentum that the Habs have built up.
Yeah, the Wild may need the Hamburglar back.
Yeah, no question. That all of a sudden, by the way, they're betting that total up 5.5 to 6. I know the Toronto game went over the total. I get it. And really, Montreal was dead nuts over right before the coaching change. Every game was going over the total. But there's defensive improvement being made by this Montreal team. And I don't know if I'm piling on the group of people that are betting over in that Montreal-Buffalo game tomorrow. Especially if Hamburglar's in. They seem to really play it tight in front of them as well against the Islanders, which was good. And then the other one, LA and Arizona. Look, they just beat Arizona, and they're playing them again in Arizona. But then again, we thought maybe there'd be a flat spot for the Kings after beating Vegas, one of their biggest wins of the year. They played Arizona the next night, and they still got the job done. LA or nothing. I'm not getting in front of the Kings right now. Not doing it. So
yeah, they remember that segment I was telling you about, Ian? They were my buy team this week. The Kings.
Oh, the Kings?
Yeah.
Yep.
You know who my sell team was? The Jets.
Yep. Yeah, the Jets are just Jets actually played a hell of a game against Calgary. I got to give them credit.
Yeah.
They played a really strong game. It was a coin flip game. Could have went either way. But still, who are they playing next? Winnipeg. Now Dallas tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's usually one really good performance, win or lose, and then the next game they don't play that well. So, although I'm going to be tempted by the Jets tomorrow night again in that game, believe it or not, because they lost a heartbreaker in Dallas just recently in overtime, 4-3. It was a Friday night game. I'm not laying minus 160 with Dallas. There's just no way. You talk about inconsistencies with Winnipeg. Why don't we bring up Dallas's inconsistencies? They have it. They have inconsistencies too.
Big time. I got to go relax, guys. I'm going to be on with Gabe late at night, so I'm just going to take it easy.
That's right. Yeah, check out Gabe or Andrew with Gabe Morency on the late night anger management, or that's not called that. Sports Rage Late Night is what it's called now.
It used to be called the anger management class.
That's right. Sports Rage Late Night, Gabe, and I'm on with him Wednesday nights. Andrew's on with him tonight. So, Andrew, good stuff. Great betcast. See you tomorrow on the Ice Guys show.
All right, guys.
See ya.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Andrew McInnis. And I'll keep this thing going till the end of the first period of these two late games, but then I'm wrapping it up. Again, we're talking Islanders, Kraken, and Sharks are not a great team. There's one halfway decent team playing in these last two games in the late night hours, and that's Anaheim. And even they are not a juggernaut by any stretch. But we'll stick around. We do have over 1.5 in this first period. I got to get a refill, though, before these two late games start, so I will do that now, and I will be back. Occupancy, you want to hang around for the first period of these late games?
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right, good stuff. All right, so we're with you for the first period of these two games, Islanders, Kraken, Sharks, Ducks, and then we'll call it a night. I'll be right back.
So how's your night in betting been going? Occupancy, good?
Tonight was a very small winning night, but then I just laid out some for the Ducks, so we won't know till after the game. But how about for you?
Well, the Wild hurt me. Some of my props hurt me, but if the Ducks go to overtime, it'll be a slight winning day. So after it looked like a really bad day. So if I can get that draw, a slight winning day, I'll take it.
Yeah. Do you do what's your split with before the pregame bets or in game? Are you pretty much even? Or?
Mostly pregame.
Okay.
But because of the betcast, I jumped in, and then I do obviously live bet the Wild a lot when they're down at the end, because they're very good when they pull the goalie. Tonight they would have had more of a chance if they didn't take that penalty, but it is what it is. So you're an Islanders fan?
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of a rough year, but obviously the road trip. Nicholas Earl, he's not on today, but he's been on the betcast before. He's a big Islanders fan. He's an Islanders fan, so.
On the betcast on your show. And
yeah.
I can't be that mad because of how far they went last playoffs, So for us, that was just amazing to see. There were people who don't watch hockey who got involved with the Islanders last playoff season, right?
Yeah, because they're not underdog.
Yeah, but this season, it's just been they put a lot of guys together, who haven't played together before, and bringing in, Parise and Palmieri signing.
Parise's a bum, but no, I don't like him at all. But
I don't know why Lou wanted to sign him.
Well, because they have history together. But Parisi obviously was a great player in his prime, but his attitude and his the way he was in the locker room was not good. So yeah, so I was kind of happy that the buyouts obviously are going to hurt the Wild for the next 3 years, but they were necessary. Suter and Parisi, I'm glad they're both gone. And that shocks a lot of people when I say that, but there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff that people haven't really heard about. So, but yeah, he's kind of slow, Parisi. That's what I think the Islanders need. Is you guys need some speed. You need some young guys who can score. But sadly, those don't come around like all the time. But
yeah, right now we don't have it, and you know, if you look at the production down the line for them, like, you know, Wallstrom, Dobson, right? These guys are young, and they're getting looks, and Beauvillier needed to be like a real contributor. I think he kind of started slow, and you know, this happens in like a lot of New York sports. Like I'm a Jets fan as well, and just like sometimes the New York media can get to people, you know, like
they say that about Toronto too.
Yeah,
the Toronto media.
And I think Matt Barzal, at the end of the day, like, he's living it up. We all know he's living it up, and like, you know, but it's affected his hockey game, quite frankly. And like, you know, if they're going to be, you know, hockey first, like, yeah, I mean, it's an issue, you know. So I think for the long term, like, they still have guys that, you know, will be good players, and I think they're not going to be a sub 500 team next year. I don't think so. We'll see.
Yeah.
So we're underway in these late games. Both of them have started since I got my beer refill done. So we've got game action back again. It was kind of weird, you know, with the schedule tonight that all the games were 7 p.m. Eastern. You know, we didn't have 7:30 games. We didn't have any 8 o'clock games. So there was no games going on for like half an hour after all those early games came to an end. So it was kind of weird there, a little dead zone with no action, no hockey games going on for about half an hour after that flurry of early games ended. But now we're underway with both Islanders, Kraken, and Ducks and Sharks. 2.5 minutes in for San Jose, Anaheim, no score there. Over 4 minutes into the game already, Islanders and Kraken, and scoreless there as well. Favorite beer for me, it's here in Hamilton, Merritt Brewing Company's a great one. They've got good beer. Merritt's very good. I've got one that's in the west end of the city, Fairweather. It's my go-to local brewery. Outstanding. I mean, sour IPAs are terrific. The combination of IPA with a little sour hint to it, phenomenal. I like regular IPAs are good. The ones that have a lot of hops to them, terrific. Those amber IPAs, very good as well. Stout beer at the Christmas time, winter time, colder weather, I'll drink from now and then, but more so, never will have that in the summer. It's always got to be one of those more refreshing beers for sure, no question. So, but a great beer. I mean, great. That's a really good area. Ontario knows this too. It's a really good area for craft beer. Actually, there's multiple different, really quality local craft breweries that have opened up here in the city the last, I would say, 5 to 10 years. And all of it high quality.
People are going to cheersing you there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Unfortunately, I've ran out of Fairweather, so this is just old-fashioned Labatt Blue tonight. You know, the cheap stuff. I usually get that Fairweather, any local brewery or craft brewery delivered to me on the later in the week, like a Thursday or Friday. So. Yeah, dark chocolate. There's some really good dark chocolate cherry and score at Anaheim. Wow, what a give and go on almost a 2-on-0 rush. Terrific stuff from the Anaheim Ducks right there. No chance for James Reimer. I know James Reimer's struggling, but there's nothing anybody can do on a play like that. Outstanding by the Anaheim Ducks. And this guy has scored again for them, like Derek Grant. It's all of a sudden been a offensive machine lately for the Anaheim Ducks. 2-on-0, just both players get in behind both defensemen there for the San Jose Sharks. That's can't have that happen. I mean, Bob Boughner, the boogeyman, is not going to be happy seeing that kind of defense from his team. That's just beautiful. I mean, when you get the puck going back and forth so quickly like that, it's tough for the goalie to really be on top of that. Yep. Totally hung out to dry. Sam was Reimer on that, no doubt. 1-0 Anaheim. So it's the first goal of the late games. We're still waiting for that first goal. Islanders Kraken. 90 live viewers right now. Hit the like button. Make sure you do that. We are on over 1.5 first period, San Jose, Anaheim. And I'm also on Anaheim minus 145 money line, which I bet this morning pregame. So good start with both of those. I got nothing for you with Islanders Kraken. I'm not even going to probably look at that live. We'll keep you up to date. And if you guys want to throw out a question to any of us on that Islanders Kraken game, I'll answer it. You know, if you got a lean that you're looking at live, but that's a game I plan to not bet pregame. And to be honest with you, it's a game I plan not to bet live either.
I'm right there with you, Ian.
Yep. That's where I stand with that. Again, we're going to wrap up the betcast a little earlier tonight. We're going to stick around for the first period of these late games, and then we're going to wrap it up, call it a night. I know we were on till the end of the Oilers-Kings game last week, but come on. You got to weigh the quality a little bit. Like, if it's Oilers-Kings, we'll stay right till the end of that game, even if it's 1 a.m. If it's Avalanche or Vegas playing, or who else are the good West Coast teams? Colorado, Vegas. You get teams like Calgary, Edmonton, even Vancouver. Canadian team, we'd stick around maybe for the whole game, but we're not doing that tonight for San Jose, Anaheim, and Islanders and Kraken. But we'll stay till the end of the first period. Justin saying, what's your setup there for the games? Are you watching the NHL package on 1 or 2 monitors? Seems like you have all the games live. So I have 3 monitors and a laptop next to me, which is the laptop that I just have some streams going. And not just NHL. I've got college basketball going on some of these laptop streams as well. So I've got earlier on, I had 1 NHL game on the laptop screen. I had one of the 3 TV monitors, another one on the other, and then I had one on the 4th as well. So I had a game each on each of the 3 television monitors and one of the 4 early NHL games streaming on the 1 laptop as well. And I use IPTV for all the games on each one. I've got 3 Fire Sticks, 1 connected in each television, and I run IPTV off each of them and pay $20-$25 a month. And I don't get hosed by cable companies, and I don't have to deal with their bullshit, and I don't have to wait 20 minutes online for someone to help me with a damn problem that I have. There you go. It's started ranting there a little bit, but yeah, as you can tell, I don't want cable and satellite providers. I'd rather shit my pants right now than give my money to satellite and cable companies. And that's pretty bad when you'd rather do that.
Yeah. Is Andrew still hosting the Betcast Thursday? Is that still happening?
Oh, on Thursday night, I believe so. Andrew's in control of that because I know I'm not home Thursday night, so I know I can't attend it, or otherwise I would have definitely been on that. But I think Andrew's in control of that. So if Andrew wants to do a betcast, if he's available to do a betcast Thursday night, you'll be doing one. And I think the last time I talked to him, he that was the plan. But I'll confirm tomorrow, and we'll make an official announcement on tomorrow's show whether that is indeed going to go ahead with Andrew McInnis hosting the betcast. And look, I get it. The Ice Guys is on 7 days a week, and out of all our crew, I'm the one that's pretty much here every day, 7 days a week, every show. And on every show, I do talk the most. I don't hide from that. I do. I talk the most. I talk a lot more than the others. But again, it's because they choose to be a little bit more succinct and not speak as much about each game compared to me. I never don't allow anybody else to talk. I do. But again, they choose not to be as in-depth or, as maybe as rambling as sometimes I can be. But either way, Thursday night's your opportunity. If Andrew hosts that betcast, there you go. There's your chance to see Ice Guys. Ian's finally not on for a change, or he's not talking a million words a second or a million words a minute. So there you go. There's going to be your opportunity Thursday night. If it's Ian overload for you too much each and every day on the Ice Guys, Thursday night's your show. potentially, if Andrew indeed goes ahead with a betcast.
But it's not like you're repeating yourself over and over and over again. You do talk a lot, but you have a lot of good stuff to say. So, like, obviously, like, we all want to hear it. We all watch the show all the time, right? Like, we want to hear all your thoughts. So, if people have an issue with you talking, I definitely don't. Like, you have lots of good things to say, so we want to hear it.
Yeah, it's a great point by Jax, JAX in the chat. Keep talking, dead air. That's part of the reason why I try to keep on going. It's because I really don't like shows that I'm involved in having dead air, where 4 or 5 seconds, there's nothing, no sound, nobody's talking, all of that stuff. I try to avoid that happening. That is a big part of it. That's a huge part of it, actually. And even during the betcast tonight, if it gets to more than 2-3 seconds and it's dead air, I'm jumping in and saying something. I don't care what the fuck it is. I'm saying something because I don't want that dead air for more than 2 or 3 seconds. So that's a big part of it. JAX, good call on that. And you're right. That's a big part of it.
It looks like everybody here in the chat agrees with me. Keep talking, Ian. everybody likes what you're saying. So that's what matters.
We're waiting to become famous. We haven't gotten there yet, but we're definitely hoping. No question. No, I appreciate it. It's overwhelming, the words. You do you, and Ian, by far my fate. I mean, thank you very much. I appreciate all that. I try to take that in stride. I know I work my ass off doing this every day. That much I know. So you can hate it, you can love it. Islanders have scored, by the way. Yeah, I just saw that now. The Islanders on the board against Seattle, and they now have a 1-0 lead over the Kraken. So Islanders getting on the board early, and again, an Islanders team that did not like their game at all against Seattle prior to the All-Star break, trying to get going here. I don't even think they can make a push for a playoff spot, but I'll say this, at least they are going to give it a go here, maybe, and we'll see how it ends up. That's an ESPN Plus game, by the way. If you're looking for that game, Islanders and Kraken, it is exclusive to ESPN Plus tonight. So make sure that you are aware of that. Important to point that out because you won't find it under center ice. Sharks have scored. Sharks have tied it, but there's the first period over. There's Logan Couture on the board for the San Jose Sharks. 1-1 tie. Yeah, a little bit of a scramble in front of Stolarz there, right in front of the net. Clean face-off win for the Sharks. Shot hits someone, and it pinballs right to Couture. I mean, that's kind of a bad... It hits the two Anaheim players looking to block the shot. Getzlaf and Hampus Lindholm. They both get a piece of that initial shot, and it goes right over to Couture. There's nothing anybody can do about it. Kind of a lucky bounce goal for the Sharks, but they all count.
Oh,
so there we go, 1-1, and the first period over was a good call to jump on that.
Yeah, the full game over is 6.5, but it's minus 180.
Yes.
But if that gets down to minus 110, I might look at that.
Yep.
This game feels like we're going to have some goals.
Yeah, no doubt. So there's the first period over, which that's not the end of the world that San Jose tied it because I've got Anaheim money line for the game. And it's not regulation either. It's full game money line. So this is a game where if Anaheim does win in overtime or a shootout, I'm still going to cash. So
I would love that.
And you have the draw. You're right.
Yeah.
I think the draw was not a bad thought because of the fact you expect close game and pretty competitive. I mean, that's the one thing about Anaheim. They can win, but are they ever really good enough to just pummel some teams? It doesn't really happen a lot, especially a divisional game like this.
Yeah, the reason I went for it, let me get the exact number here. 6 out of the last 11 meetings have gone to overtime in Anaheim.
Yep.
So yeah, San Jose has been very dominant, but they also go to overtime a lot. So I kind of felt that this would be a close game, 2-2, 3-3, something like that.
And it's very possible it could be that way. Good start for the Islanders, too. They're out shooting Seattle 8-3 early in this game, over the halfway mark of the first period. So the Islanders, solid start. Seattle, of course, playing in Vancouver last night as well. Very important to point that out as well. A bit of a tricky scheduling spot here for the Seattle Kraken after taking their lumps last night against the Vancouver Canucks. So it's a TV timeout with San Jose, Anaheim. We've still got Islanders and Kraken. Again, they haven't had a stoppage for now. They just had a stoppage. So 8:57 to go in the first period, and it's 1-0 for the New York Islanders in that game. All right, let's see what we've got here in terms of just early numbers for this. Yeah, Islanders dominating so far, 0.57 to 0.26 expected goal margin in favor of the New York Islanders so far in that game. Sharks and Ducks right now, slight edge for the Sharks, actually, 0.38 to 0.3, but nothing overly significant, fairly even based on that. So, and that's why it's 1-1 at the moment. So, that's where we're at. 1-1 Sharks Ducks, 1-0 Islanders. Both game. Well, Sharks Ducks still has about 13 minutes left first period. We're down under 9 minutes to go now in the first period for the Islanders and the Seattle Kraken. So occupancy. How long have you been an Islanders fan? Because that's your team, right? Islanders.
Yeah, it's a pretty kind of funny history. Like my whole family is all from that tri-state area. Like 80 years, 3 generations of them. You know. So my dad's a Devils fan. So I grew up kind of watching Marty Brodeur and all those '90s teams. But you grew up there, but then, I grew up on Long Island, so I was just going to root for the hometown team, Yeah, but we went through some years there. I mean, when Chara first got in the league, I was there for that, and Ziggy Palffy being on the team, and Yashin and Pekka, and those whole, all those Islanders teams.
Yep.
I kind of was that was my beginning of my fanhood almost. And, the travel hockey out there was great. They would have us play on the old Coliseum rink for certain matchups and stuff. So it's a community, it's that's why I love the Ice Guys too. Cause it's everyone getting together, under, a common goal, common interest. And yeah, just always love the hockey community.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because it usually starts from. It's not that you pick a team to be a fan of. It's kind of like it's woven within your family, or that happens so much. And I think it's kind of what's happened with you. I know most of my family are Leaf fans, but I never got attached to the Leafs quite as much, and then I ended up cheering for the Sabres just because we got Fox 29 Buffalo games growing up, and WUTV with Rick Jenneret calling the game. So it was always him as a broadcaster was just hilarious to hear him for the first time. And now, of course, he's hanging up the microphone after this season, and dismal season to do it, because the Buffalo Sabres these last few years have just been such a dreadful team. But so it's sad to see him go out on that note with the team in just such turmoil on the ice, with their performance just being awful. But, it is what it is. That's the situation right now. It's just unfortunately not a great team at the moment. And but it doesn't take anything away from the great career Rick Jenneret had. His play-by-play of the Buffalo Sabres got me into being a Sabre fan. That's what it was. It wasn't LaFontaine. It wasn't Brad May. It wasn't McGillney in his young years, Dave Hannon, or any of those young the Sabre players from those early 90s teams. It was watching Rick Jenneret for the first time. That's what made me a Sabre fan, because the shot. You'd hear that Rick Jenneret voice. He strain his voice there. Right on. Yeah, with a big save there. Just absolutely hilarious now. And you hear his voice almost rip his vocal cords. He absolutely shredded his vocal cords, probably calling that fight in the late 90s with Steve Shields and Garth Snow. I mean, it's so easy to find that on YouTube, and it's just unbelievable. Now, Snow and Shields, and there they go. Snow and Shields, the linesman trying to get in there. There they go. Shields firing punches. I mean, it's just, and his voice is just, my voice is straining. Holy shit, doing that, let alone Rick Jenneret trying to call that. Just unbelievable passion, excitement, enthusiasm for the game. He didn't hold anything back. He let her rip. That's what I'd do if I was in play-by-play for a sport like hockey. So, great career. He'll be missed. RJ, the one, the only.
Yeah, I saw I guess they did like his best calls.
Yeah.
So they put all of them together, and I gotta say, Mayday was my favorite.
Oh yeah,
that
Brad
was just
May.
awesome. Yeah, yep. I wish the Wild had an announcer like that, because like he got me pumped up. Like,
yeah,
watching.
You're not a big who's the Wild play? It's Anthony Panther or something. Who's the Wild play-by-play guy?
Wes Waltz too.
Yeah,
Wes Waltz is there, but.
Yeah, Wes Waltz. Ryan Carter, former Minnesota Wild as well, is involved in the broadcasts now as like the studio analyst for Minnesota. So, and of course, he was just with the Wild playing for them like a few years ago. So, recently retired Ryan Carter for the Minnesota Wild, now involved in their broadcast. So, we have no change here in this game. By the way, I like what San Jose is doing with Ryan Dzingel here. This is a guy that in Ottawa had showed some flashes of being a player that could help a team produce offense for you, be a bit of a difference maker, be a bit of an impact player. And for whatever reason, I think the biggest reason is Arizona is just a dreadful team this year, but it didn't work out there. He struggled, kind of lost his confidence. It's easy to not have confidence or spirit when you're playing on such a bad team in front of no fans. And it's like that every night in Arizona. It has nothing to do with COVID. They get pathetic crowds for years there. So to get to San Jose, at least you're going to get more of an opportunity with that team. They're putting him in a second line. They're not burying him on the fourth line. They're putting him in a spot where he can, thrive and maybe make an impact. I like that San Jose is doing that with Dzingel in his debut tonight. Put him in a spot where he can produce and make a difference for you. And putting him on the second line at least gives them a chance to do that. And look, it was his line on the ice for that San Jose goal that they scored just a few minutes ago for sure. Yeah, I agree with you, John, in terms of Johnny Forsland and JT Brown, the Seattle crew. John Forsland's terrific. Hey, what do you say? That's hockey, baby. He's terrific, John Forsland. He's a pro. If Chris Cuthbert likes the guy, he's pretty good. If Chris Cuthbert's giving you the accolades, and Chris Cuthbert has said that John Forsland's one of his favorite broadcasters, you're doing something right when Chris Cuthbert thinks you're a good job.
Yeah. I haven't really listened to a lot of Seattle games. So
yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that as well. And I think it's because, look, they're not having a great year. They're just first-year team. They haven't given you a reason to just jump out and seek out Seattle Kraken games this year necessarily. So you're right. There's probably going to be people that maybe next year will be the first time they watch John Forsland on a Seattle game. Yep. Yeah. Gord Miller's good. Gord Miller's solid. Nothing wrong with Gord. Gord's good. Bob Cole was terrific. Back in his heyday when he was in his prime, there were very few that were better than Bob Cole for Hockey Night in Canada. Good save Stolars there. San Jose's starting to press on a little bit here, get some good shifts in the offensive zone. 7 minutes to go in the first period there. Favorite broadcaster occupancy. Did you have one when it comes to hockey? A favorite broadcaster or not so much?
Oh man, that's a good question. And in a weird way, it's Butch Gordon, but just because the voice now, it's it makes sense. Yep. But the radio guys at Hofstra University Radio, they do the Islanders radio broadcasts, and I like them a lot too. So I do try to listen to them, when I can.
I like that. Hofstra, is that Hofstra basketball?
Yeah, same. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, very good. Yeah, that's I like how you say off the grid, and some of those, those are the guys that do play-by-play because they want to get into the broadcasting business and they love it. They really love doing it. They have a passion for it because a lot of people get their start doing college sports, and they're trying to get their name out there, their voice out there. They're trying to get someone to notice them. Maybe someone hears them, and that's going to give them an opportunity at some point, in the future, maybe to have a bigger opportunity with a pro team or whatever. And I find you get their absolute best. I find you get the absolute best effort from maybe a person that's doing a college play-by-play role for a team because they really want to get noticed. They do. And yeah, Jim Fox, Sandro is great. Someone asked in the chat, Anaheim. Yeah, I am on Anaheim in case you weren't around earlier. Dre for Trey. I am on Anaheim -145. I bet that pregame. I did take the over 1.5 in the first period. That's already cashed. So Burke is good, Earl Sports, and you know what? I know you're an Islander fan. You obviously love Brendan Burke for sure, but he is legitimately a good up-and-coming young broadcaster. He is. He's very good. And there's a reason TNT has recruited him to be one of their national voices for hockey. He's doing TNT games on Wednesday night as well. So he's good. Mike Lang, of course, get that dog off my lawn. Mike Lang and Michael Motorcycle, and Elvis has left the building. All those crazy sayings he has there. Grandma, step into the fast lane, Grandma, or something like that. He said that. Mike Lang has got those over the top sayings that are great. Jim Fox has been with the Kings since 1990, and with Bob Miller for a lot of those years. He retired recently because he had some health issues. And Alex Faust has taken over and done a solid job. He's just a young guy, and he's only been the Kings television voice for a couple of days. So definitely very good. Fox, very good. Color analyst as well. It's a good crew there for LA. You could go on and on. There's very few that I'd say are really, really terrible. Jack Edwards is entertaining, but he's over the top at times. Way over the top. Him. Yeah. Sam Rosen's phenomenal. I'm trying to think who's the crew in the NHL I don't like. I don't think is all that spectacular. The Nashville guy I don't think's that great. Whoever it is, not great. Pete Weber was good, but Pete Weber hasn't been the Nashville TV voice for a long time. It's been someone else these last few years. The Dallas guys hit or miss. Daryl Ray is phenomenal, but the new play-by-play guy for the Dallas Stars isn't my favorite. I'll put it that way. But is there anyone that I think is absolutely brutal? Maniscalco's in a tough spot, John, with Carolina. He's replacing a tough guy to fill shoes and that's John Forsland. John Forsland had been with Carolina for years. It's tough to replace a guy like that. But Maniscalco's done a decent job there. So give them credit for that. Trip Tracy, his partner's been good for many, many years. Islanders have just added to their 1-0 lead. So 2-0 Islanders over the Seattle Kraken. They have just scored once again. So good start for the New York Islanders in this one with just 2 minutes and change left in the first period. So now 2-0 Islanders with the lead over the Seattle Kraken. 11-4, by the way, the shots on goal right now in favor of the Islanders. So, oh, they are?
Whoa.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's just see here. Yeah, you're right. I'm just turned my head to look at what's going on there. Yep. Looks like the goal has been disallowed, and it looks like we're going to still have it as 1-0 here in favor of the Islanders in this one. And as you'll see here, yeah, they're going to say that goaltender interference on Parise, I think, in front of the net is the cause for that.
Shocking. Crazy.
Yeah. An old friend of yours, right, Terry? Yep.
No, not a fan.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
I think you probably expected a little more from him than you got ultimately in Minnesota. Just a little bit.
Well, he needs to be a leader in the locker room.
Yeah.
He wanted to be captain, but he definitely did not act like one. So, yeah, I've heard a lot of stories, behind-the-scenes stories about praising Suter that I won't get into, but yeah, I'm happy they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. It is waved off, no goal, and it is indeed still 1-0 Islanders there. So we'll see. Isles are challenging, though, so it looks like they might be trying to see if they can get this reversed. We'll have to wait and see on that. Yeah, thank you, by the way, Kevin Klopek. I just want to shout him out in our chat saying I'm officially, sounds like someone that's just found us, and I am glad we still have people that have just found us because we have honestly been doing this show for 5 years now. The Ice Guys has been in existence in some form for 5 years now. So many different platforms, SBR, Patreon, and of course, and now they're going to call it a good goal. Yep. It looks like it. Yeah, Joe Bowen, holy Mackinac with the Leafs is. Yeah, he is. He's good. I know people that hate the Leafs, and still like Joe Bowen. That's how entertaining and he does in terms of. Great save Stolars just now for Anaheim. That was a breakaway chance for San Jose, and he stopped it. So still 1-1, and Sharks are starting to tilt the play a little bit here later in this first period. So still 2-0 in favor of the Islanders. They did count that goal, so it's 2-0 Islanders, still 1-1. But Kevin Klopek, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Glad to have you as a new member of the Ice Guys family. We are on 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. 7 days a week, breaking down every NHL game from a betting perspective. So we appreciate having you with us. But yeah, SBR, and then we were on Patreon after SBR was just making. They didn't say our show was bad, or they didn't get rid of us because we were bad, or nobody watched. It was just new management. They wanted their own pick of shows and all that, and cost cutting and all that shit. And we ended up going to Patreon after that for a bit. We revived it after about a 6-month hiatus. We went on Patreon, and we were there for about a couple of years, I would say. And then we got picked up and came to the partnership with the Hockey Podcast Network early last year, 2021. Right, it was this month, February 2021. It was right after the Super Bowl. This is basically our 1-year anniversary, being free for all again, not behind a Patreon paywall, and being on the air 7 days a week for everybody to watch and listen in podcast form and in YouTube form. San Jose has scored. A ripper from the point from Brent Burns, and it is 2-1 San Jose. Yep, a great shot from the point. So, look, Sharks are carrying the play the last 5 minutes. Like, if you're watching this game, you can't say you're shocked that the Sharks just took the lead because they've definitely been in the Anaheim zone shift after shift here for the last couple minutes. Yep, that was just a really good shot there. What happened? Occupancy dropped out. Maybe his connection. We'll see. But
my computer restarted earlier. That's why I left randomly.
Yeah,
I got kicked out. My computer just decided to restart. Didn't give me warning or anything. It just went. Which,
again, this is not the be-all, end-all for me because I've got Ducks full game money line. But now they got work to do, down 2-1 with 2:20 to go in the first period. There's less than a minute to go first period with the Islanders and Kraken. They're inside of final minutes. So of that game, 2-0 Islanders leading that one. But, yeah, very, very disappointing first period for Seattle for sure. Trailing the Islanders 2-0, and tough times for the. Let's just say that Seattle has not come close to duplicating what Vegas was able to do in year one. They've got some decent pieces, but the problem is I think they're forcing Eberle and McCann and some of these guys they count on for offense into like top line roles. They're not top line players. They're good third line, supplementary, secondary players, but they're not the kind of players you want carrying your team necessarily on the top line. And I think we're kind of seeing that for Seattle as well. And to be honest, their defense and goaltending, which we thought would be the hallmark for this team, hasn't necessarily been up to the level that we thought. We got to scrap here. We got to fight in the San Jose Anaheim game. It's Delorier against Gadjevich. These guys are no strangers to dropping the gloves. Gadjevich has been in a bunch of fights this year for San Jose. Delorier's been in more than you lose count of how many fights he's been in, but they're going at it here. They're swinging, both of these guys. A true heavyweight battle here just inside the blue line.
He's bleeding
There's
too,
definitely a cut
Delorier.
under the eye of Delorier here. Those two guys were swinging. Way to go, Nick Delorier and Jonah Gadjevich going at it. And Gadjevich, good job by him, basically trying to get, Delorier trying to get his team perk up a little bit because they've not had a good last 5-6 minutes or so. Oh, there was a big hit on Dzingel by Delorier, and I think that's when Gadjevich stepped in, helped defend his teammates. So good scrap, good fight. That's what you like to see there. I'm always going to be a supporter of fighting in this sport.
Yeah,
I know the detractors and the reasons for not liking fighting, but I will always be there to support there being a fight here. So, and again, you want to make this guy feel welcome too with his new team, Ryan Dzingel. Here he is, and he took a big shot there with that hit, and good job by Gadjevich to step in and support his teammate there, Dzingel. By the way, we've reached the first intermission with the Islanders cracking 2-0 Islanders. We have 1:22 to go first period here, San Jose, Anaheim, and then a minute or two after that, we will wrap up this betcast for tonight. Again, got work to do with Anaheim. Still, it's been not the night that I had last week in terms of the live bets or the pregame bets, but decent. I think we're break even or close to it, just off the top of my head. Nothing overly terrible tonight. Oh, off the post, Anaheim nearly tied it just now. The shot from a tough angle, but caught iron. Anaheim really that fight maybe woke them up. That's why when you're trailing in a game and you're seeing the flow of the play go, sometimes a fight gets a team just re-engaged.
Yeah, if they get rid of fighting, then what's next? They'll get rid of hitting.
Yeah,
we won't be able to. Players won't be able to hit each other, and then what? And then people don't fight for no reason. Like, it's not like we're seeing constant fights or anything. Like, usually it's a momentum thing or a reaction to something else that happened. Or
yeah, and I'll be honest, I even like the staged fights from back in the day. Like, you can't tell me that every single time the Leafs played the Sabres, late 90s and 2000s, that Ty Domi and Rob Ray didn't already plan to fight. No, it seemed like every game they planned on it that they were going to fight each other. It's just they decided what time of the game are we going to end up fighting. And there's people that didn't like that. Staged fights, planned fights, two guys that have fought each other every time the teams meet and they fight again for no reason. There was no big hit that led to it. Even I like those fights because it's just two guys, dropping them.
They don't like each other.
Yeah, exactly. They got a rivalry going. They both know their role, which back then the enforcer role was a lot more prominent and prevalent in the NHL than it is now. And as a result, it seemed like you couldn't watch a Leaf Sabre game back in the day without Rob Ray and Ty Domi dropping the gloves. That's what you saw. So I like the stage, even the stage fights. I like any fight. Doesn't matter whether it's you're trying to respond to your teammate getting hit when you didn't like it or whatever. That's just the way it was. Bob Probert and Domi fought a lot as well. Probert and Crowder way back in the day. Go on down the list. Yeah, that's why the tie-down rule came into effect, Ryan, because of Rob Ray. And the contentious part was, the jersey came off and he couldn't grab onto anything. He had to grab onto bare skin. And it's you can't grip it. Can't grip anything. If you can't grip any kind of t-shirt or anything like that, you're not gonna be able to grip when you're in the clinch like that. So that was an advantage that really he gained a competitive advantage in fights, Rob Ray, until they changed that rule. And now when you don't have the jersey tied down in a fight, you get a penalty. I think you actually get a game misconduct, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a severe penalty for sure. Probert was like that too, though. Probert, lost the gear a lot too easily. You go back and look, there's tons of those examples, but that's the reason they had the frickin' tie down rule put into place so that nobody could gain a competitive advantage with the in terms of a fight. It just you could each grab on. There would be no advantage either way. With that. So we've reached intermission. Anaheim, San Jose, 2-1 San Jose. A good start for the Ducks. They got the first goal, but San Jose responded with the next two. Feels like no lead is going to be safe in this game with what I've seen. It's been very, very sloppy at both ends of the ice so far in this Sharks-Ducks game, and it's 2-0 Islanders leading the Kraken after the first intermission. I'm staying off Islanders Kraken in terms of that. I might look at an Anaheim second period puck line, which is kind of what I did with the Minnesota game against Ottawa. Second period puck line for Anaheim's plus 150. So I probably will lock that in, just as a final bet before we say goodbye. Anaheim -0.5 plus 150 second period puck line against San Jose, because that means if they have this game tied going into the third period, that cashes. So I'd expect a little bit better. Oh, KP saying Seattle will come back. How about that? How about that bold call? Well, if you like them to come back, KP, they're plus 625, plus 640 in that range on the money line right now.
The other underdogs have won, and San Jose's winning, so I would not be surprised. I feel bad for anybody that took all the favorites.
Yeah, exactly. And Anaheim's got work to do. Seattle definitely, Seattle was an underdog, but they are definitely in some trouble. I don't know, with them playing last night against Vancouver, I'm not so sure. Will they have the stamina in the tank really to make that comeback? We'll have to wait and see. But I'm not breaking my vow and promise that I said all day long. I'm not betting the Islanders and Kraken pregame, and I'm not going to bet it a live in-game either tonight. So that is going to wrap things up. We hope you enjoy the rest of the second and the third period of these two late games. If you're going to keep watching them, Islanders, Kraken, Sharks, and Ducks, we appreciate you guys joining us for another Tuesday night live betcast. Again, we'll play it by ear every Tuesday. Some Tuesdays we'll only go for the early games and maybe the first period of the late games like tonight. And sometimes we'll stick around and stay on the air right till the end. Right to that final game late night, especially on a night where there's a lot of good late games. Unfortunately, this is not one of those nights. So we're going to sign off a little bit earlier. Thanks to everyone for joining us. We appreciate it. Terry, some final thoughts and final words before we wrap it up.
A pretty good night. Obviously, I'm kind of sad about my Wild, but can't win every game. It is what it is. I got some nice plus money cashes. Tailing you on the Wild second period was a great idea as well. And yeah, I wish everybody luck. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be watching tomorrow, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And check out Terry's show as well later in the day, 5 p.m. Eastern. He has his own show, Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. He breaks down the NHL slate as well with his group, a good group as well, with that sports guy and Andy Sports and Weapon X and
Vito.
Even our guy Vito from Latvia. Often you'll see him
I put him to
on
work.
that show as well. So
we both put him to work.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but he always says he wants to get on as much shows as possible. He wants to improve his English, which is ridiculous because his English is already good enough as far as I'm concerned. But good stuff. And again, we'll be back with you tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, for our regular daily edition of the Ice Guys, breaking down the Wednesday card. So we're looking forward to that. Win some, lose some kind of night. Minnesota second period puck line. We had couple of the overs at least did cash in the St. Louis Philly game. 3.5, 4.5, both went over. St. Louis team total went over. We got the 5.5 over with Toronto Columbus. That cashed in. Pre-game bets did okay. Nashville, Florida went over. Minnesota, Ottawa went over. We fell short with St. Louis Philly, but at least we got some of the live bets on the overs with that 3.5 and the 4.5 cashed in that game. So not bad. It definitely could have been worse. We won some, lost a couple too, but not a bad night overall. And more than anything, just fun to hang out with everybody and those of you in the chat tuning in as well. We appreciate it. Another Ice Guys Betcast. Stay tuned. We will make it official tomorrow whether Andrew McInnis hosts a Betcast on Thursday night this week at 7 p.m. Eastern. If he indeed goes ahead with that, we will definitely announce it on tomorrow's show, and we will certainly be back here with you next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time for another Tuesday night Ice Guys Betcast. So make sure you join us for that. For Terry Edelman, for Occupancy, Vito, of course, Alex and Andrew were with us earlier, and everybody else that joined us and also tuned into this Betcast. We appreciate each and every one of you. Hit the like button on the way out if you haven't done so already. I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Tuesday night. Thanks for joining us on this latest Ice Guys Betcast, and we'll see you again and talk to you again tomorrow on Wednesday for another edition of the Ice Guys presented by the Hockey Podcast Network.